mind, no time to waste. Let's go. You are now listening to Jason Anderson, and you are in the zone.
The Zone is presented by Guaranteed Foods, delivering all natural food to Midwestern families since 1958. Enjoy healthier food, more free time, free delivery, and better value. Go to GuaranteedFoods.com.
All right, a Thursday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Dylan Michaels heading up until 2 o'clock. We'll hear from the Chiefs coming up an hour from now, Steve Spagnuolo and others. That comes up in St. Joe as they are going through another day of practice. Andy Reid will talk tomorrow. But did I say Steve Spagnuolo or Matt Nagy? I think I said Steve Spagnuolo, didn't I? Wishful thinking. We'll hear from Matt Nagy coming up an hour from now, the offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs. And we'll have him weigh in on the prospects of Louis Rees-Ahmed. It's going to be 10 minutes of just LRZ questions. That's it. Since that was like 10 minutes of our conversation yesterday with Mick Schaefer, we have to then duplicate that with Matt Nagy today. He maybe ask a question or two about that. What have you seen from him over the last couple of weeks? What have you seen from him with the pads on? Can you be any way complimentary to his pass blocking ability? Let's hear from Matt Nagy. That'll be an hour from now, and then whoever else may be at the podium, and we'll find out that here in just a little bit. In fact, it's like Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Brian Cook. But then I got the same text, and we get the text at the same time?
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Same sources.
See,
sources say.
I'm not going to reveal my sources. I'm a professional.
But we have the same sources. Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's Todd Lebo. It's, yeah, that's
in a group text.
I caved. I caved. Sorry. You know, I just when you ask me something 3 times, I have to tell you.
Order and names subject to change, though. Don't forget that part. It's tiny lettering at the very bottom.
Yeah, that's a different source, though.
Yeah.
It's Brad G. But, I'm not going to reveal any source on the air. But no, Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Brian Cook will be talking today. Interesting to hear from Brian Cook. Looks like he's fully recovered from that ankle injury, out there playing. And you know what? Opportunity this training camp to take on more of a leadership role there in the back end without Justin Reid on the field. I mean, Justin Reid can take the mental reps. Steve Spagnuolo said, a couple of weeks ago, hey, you got to be a coach out there. Make sure you stay engaged. Be a coach. Learn everybody else's position so you know what everybody else is doing, which he probably does anyway. But, make sure you stay engaged since you'll be out for a while. Well, Brian Cook on the field in those reps is Justin Reid now, which is a nice little primer for what I believe will be next year. I mean, do you think Justin Reid, just to, real quick, do you think Justin Reid is going to be re-signed after this year? Or do they walk on Justin Reid and move forward with Cook, Hicks, and Connor?
Yeah, I think they move forward with I think Hicks was drafted for that reason. Yeah. If you read between read the tea leaves.
I like reading tea leaves. Yeah. I don't even know if there are words on them, but you just sort of read them, interpret what the lines are.
I do like the tea bags that have the little sayings on them, though. What? Don't mark that.
I mean,
it's a tea bag.
Yeah, we know. And apparently you like it, so that's fine.
I like the tea bags that have the little sayings.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging anybody or anything.
Grow up, Jason.
I appreciate you keeping that second one close enough to the first one, Sterling. I don't have to mark that second.
I love that I'm the youngest one and the most mature.
Yeah.
Well, you say mature, so.
Yeah, that's how you know.
Is that right? If somebody says my son pronounced it mature, he'd be more mature than me.
I had a teacher in third grade who, I didn't even know what grade it was, but I had a teacher growing up who said mature, and I thought that's what mature people said. And I always laughed about it from then on.
Yeah. Okay. Good enough.
That was my best Briscoe impersonation of getting you sidetracked.
Saying mature?
No, getting you sidetracked before the...
drive in a deep left field by Castellanos. It will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game.
Well done. Well done, Dylan. 913-912-4810 is the text line to be a part of the show, part of the conversation. So we'll hear from Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Brian Cook coming up at 11 o'clock. Matt Lane, KC Sports Network, KC Laboratory Podcast will be our guest coming up at noon. And then we'll play some sports or leisure in the 1 o'clock hour today. We'll talk some Royals. We'll talk some Chiefs. And I believe we will be, well, we haven't decided if we're going to draft or just simply select. Draft or select our dream team flag football team since, the Olympics going on right now. In 4 years, it'll be in L.A., and it'll be flag football. And there are already a number of NFL players when they announced this last year that said that they want to play. So we decided, you know what, while training camp's going on, let's see who we would choose on our flag football team, with flag football starting up around the city as well. So we'll do that at some point today, maybe in the noon hour, after we talk with Matt Lane before sports or leisure today. Let's get into the show, 913-912-4810. If we were outside right now, I would pour out a little bit of my drink.
Is that a coffee? It looks like Starbucks.
Yeah, but I don't want to do it in here.
Yeah.
I would pour out a little bit of the drink just in the memory of the Chicago White Sox and the Royals no longer playing the Chicago White Sox this year. It's a bittersweet day yesterday. You know, it was sweet in the fact that they went 12-1 against the White Sox. Bitter in the fact that they do not get to play the White Sox again. So that is unfortunate. That is tough for the Royals. But they went 12-1. I mean, they did what you would want a good team to do. A good team takes care of bad teams. You keep a bad team playing bad. You keep a losing team losing. And that team had lost, 14 games in a row? And then they played the Royals, and now they have lost 17 games in a row. They didn't break the losing streak against the Royals. There were opportunities. Luckily, the 8th inning happened on the,
previous two games.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday. I mean, they should just make the whole plane out of the 8th inning. Why just the little black box that doesn't get destroyed? Make the whole plane out of the black box. They should make the whole game out of the 8th inning. Why don't you just do what you did in the 8th inning the whole game? Well, they did that yesterday, essentially. Scoring double-digit runs yet again. Royals tied with, I believe, the Dodgers for the most games where they have scored double-digit runs. For an offense that we have talked about being much maligned and anemic at times.
Streaky.
They are so hot and cold, so streaky, this Royals offense is. And we saw a little bit of everything yesterday wrapping up against the White Sox. You saw Brady Singer go deep into the game. He was pitch efficient. You saw the offense do what, at times, the offense can do. And you saw a guy go out there that was just pumping gas in the 8th inning. And, visions of sugar plums dancing in everybody's head as we went to sleep last night about Lucas Erceg in the 9th inning. And doing what he was doing and continuing to do that. That is somebody who profiles like I don't remember the Royals having. Like, we got excited about Stallmont, who had the straightest fastball like an arrow. But he threw a really good curve. Yeah, and he walked the world, okay? Then we got excited about Dylan Coleman. Like, Dylan, if he could find the strike zone. Okay, yes, he can't. The Royals tried to give him a map, and he couldn't find it.
It's like Dora the Explorer.
Yes, he kept getting lost. It was where in the world, not Carmen Sandiego, where in the world is Dylan Coleman going to throw the ball? That's what it was when he was on the mound. But, man, he had a badass fastball. Carlos Hernandez, got his stuff. I mean, if he could just figure it out, his stuff, like Carlos Hernandez stuff. I mean, just as a fastball is just so enticing and it's so intriguing, and it's just you get so excited about what the fastball can do for Carlos Hernandez. I mean, it's just like, oh, man. Yeah, I know what it can do. It gets hit 101 miles an hour. Like, we got to stop, pumping up guys just because they have something that nobody else has in the bullpen when it's not effective. Erceg has what nobody that we've seen in the Royals bullpen for a long time, and that is a punch-out pitch that just, he's going to throw it, and you may not matter if he's
Kelvin
going to
Herrera maybe was the last.
Yeah.
That might be the last guy you kind of point to and say who
because he
had
was
this.
after Holland and Davis.
Yeah, after those guys, yeah.
Absolutely. That's a great call. That might be the last one that you throw somebody in the bullpen when he came out and you just knew it was going to be electric. You knew at any point he was going to hit 100 on the black for strike three. Miguel Vargas watched 100 on the black for
Herrera
strike
had
three.
that like Rivera Mariano like feel to him where you knew what he was throwing you was a 100-mile-an-hour fastball,
Yeah.
and people couldn't hit it.
But there was some movement and there was different things to it. Like it wasn't Stallmont's fastball. Like it wasn't Carlos Hernandez's fastball. Like it's different. Lucas Erceg yesterday in the 8th inning was different than what we have seen from the Royals, anybody in the Royals bullpen for a while.
I wish they would have had a camera on James MacArthur's face, just so you could see him losing the closer role in real time.
Would it have just gone like white, just like ghost white, just
No,
as
I
he's
bet
watched? The soul is the soul of the closer is sort of leaving his body while he's watching that
Erceg.
that eighth inning.
I'm telling you, do not come into Whitehorse. Do not come in. I love the song. Great song.
In fact, don't even pick a song yet. Just come out of the bullpen. Just come out of the bullpen and pitch. That's all. You don't need your song. Just come out of the bullpen and pitch. That's fine. Now, if he goes out there and is setting them down, save after save after save after save after save, pick your damn song.
I mean,
You
I'm
know,
more of a
pick
Kenny,
your song.
I'm a Kenny Powers kind of guy. I think you got to hang on to the bullpen and you swing out.
That's fine.
You swing out. That's my.
I still think they should
go-to.
bring back the bullpen carts. You know,
Yeah.
get those little helmets on there and ride the. Why do you make him run out there? The guy's tired now when he runs all the way out there. That's a long run.
How do you view the Royals in totality? They're 11 games up, 11 games over 500, I should say.
Yep.
And they're 11 games over 500 against the White Sox.
Yeah, they're 48 and 48 against every other team in baseball.
So
The rest of their schedule. I should
So
say.
how do you view that? Because I view it almost as they took care of business. They beat up on the bad teams, and you're trying to go 500 or so against the teams that are playoff teams.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't just playoff teams they're 500 against. It's also against the Oakland A's and the Angels and the Miami Marlins and the Rockies. How do you view the Royals in totality with this?
I think they are a team that's going to end up 4 or 5 games over 500. Like, I think they are a good team that can make the playoffs, especially with the wild card. And the fact that they're 2 games up on the Red Sox right now, and they'll have the Red Sox coming up very soon. After these 4 games against Detroit, they've got 3 games against the Red Sox. The last games against the Red Sox the rest of the way. They still have 6 games remaining against the Minnesota Twins, which, when you look at the teams they've played that, are above 500 or better this year, the Twins are the team that's given them the most problems.
Yeah.
They're 2-5 against the Twins. They're 4-2 against the Guardians. I mean, they've taken care of business against the they're 4-2 against Detroit. I know they're not above 500.
Sure.
But if you take out the White Sox, the Royals are 8-4 against the Guardians and Tigers, but 2-5 against the Twins. It's one of those things to where
bad year with the AL Central. You don't play your division a ton.
Yeah, it's one of those things to where sometimes a team just sort of quote unquote has your number, and this year it just seems like the Twins are finding ways to win, and the Royals are doing that against the Guardians. They're finding ways to win, and the Tigers have gotten worse because they've traded some guys. So the 7 games left against the Tigers, in theory, should be a little bit easier. Of course, the 7 games left against the Guardians, in theory, should be a little tougher.
Yeah. And what people, I kind of remembered recently about 2015 that is definitely not the same or even close as this year. That division was so bad besides us. We boat raced that division and we basically clinched it with 30 games left because no one was even close. This division, while that's what everyone expected us to be, is the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been annoying.
The best.
It's been frustrating and
in
annoying.
baseball,
The Royals are 11 games over 500 and still 6 games out of first place. If you'd have said this goes back to the beginning of the season. If you would have said this, if you would have said that, if you'd have said the Royals are 11 games over 500, where are they in the American League Central? They're in first place probably by a couple games.
Yeah,
is what I would guess.
So you said you think the Royals end up 5 or 6 games over 500,
I
correct?
think they can get anywhere from 86 to 88 wins. So I guess I'll settle at 87 wins.
So what if they end up
87 and 75?
If they end up 11 games over 500, that would be.
Well, it can't be 11 games.
You can't have that.
Because it'd be 87 and 75 or 86 and 76. So, I guess. Well, yeah. That would
86
so
and 76.
10 games, 12.
So I'll say they go. I guess that'd be 86 and 76 then, right?
86, 76 would be-
That's the math. So
if they're
10
5
games.
yeah.
Because I think they go. The point I was trying to make was they banked those 11 victories over 500 against the White Sox, right?
It's already
But
there.
they're 500 against every other team, basically.
Yeah,
That's the basic math here, right?
Yep.
Well, I think they'll just go 500 the rest of the way then, which would again leave you 11 over, which can't happen. So I'll just say for math purposes, they go 86 and 76. Is that good enough for a wild card spot?
Well, if you look at the last 10 years or so, the third best record in the American League, the third best record that did not win a division. Okay, so the third wild card team, we did this a month and a half ago.
I remember this conversation, yeah.
It was 87 wins.
Yeah.
It was 87 was the average over the last 10 years of the team, that the third best record of teams that did not win the division. Now, not all of them made the playoffs because there was only one wild card.
Sure.
So you had teams that didn't make the playoffs, but the third best record of teams that did not make the playoffs in the American League, 87 wins. So that's why the Royals are going to be right there. The question is, if they're right there and they're 2 games above the Red Sox and they have a space between them and everybody behind the Red Sox, the Twins didn't do anything at the trade deadline. The Royals are a better team now. The Twins are the same team. And they're tied with the Twins right now.
The one thing I'll point out for the Twins, yes, you're correct. They have a great bullpen. They didn't need to bolster their bullpen. They got some guys in the bullpen. Griffin Jacks, stud.
Yeah.
They figured out Stallmont a little bit, right?
Duran.
And then
I think he
don't
got,
forget
Stallmont
Duran.
got sent down.
Did he get sent down? Okay, so
But
but Griffin Jacks is also an absolute stud. He's got a 2.14 ERA. They have a guy who I've never heard of before, Jorge Alcala, who's got a 1.63.
And Duran's awesome.
Yeah, and
So
then
they-
Duran's Duran.
And
Duran. Yeah.
Did you
Nice,
do that on
yeah.
purpose, or that was just you just walked into that one? Did you fall into that one?
I fell into that.
That's
one.
fine. It's all good.
I can't take credit for that one.
It's all good.
But they also got Royce Lewis back. I know I've talked about him a lot, but Royce Lewis is one of the most electric players in baseball when healthy. And he's finally healthy. Came around the trade deadline about a week ago. For now. He's already been on the IL twice this year with long, extended times there.
And by the way, soft tissue injuries, both of them.
But I wonder if they viewed getting Royce Lewis back, who in 108 at-bats has a 1.3 win above replacement. Like, he's just absurd with the bat.
Yeah, they look at it and say, if he's healthy, this is our acquisition. And should point out that, they have, right now the Royals have a 2-game lead on Boston in the wild card, and they have a 3.5-game lead on the Mariners, 4.5 on Tampa, but that's going to stretch because Tampa's, tanking. Detroit's 8 games behind them. The Rangers are 8 games behind them. Toronto's 10 games behind them. So it's really just the Red Sox and then whoever doesn't win the West. Because right now the Astros are leading the West. And they've got a 1.5 lead on the Astros.
I'd be surprised, because this would be a massive turnaround for the Rangers, obviously. But are you basically saying they're done? I mean, they're 8 games back of the Royals, right? Or 8 games back of the Royals right now.
Royals and Twins, yeah. Yes.
It's hard for me to just throw them out after what they did last year. Like, I get they're 52 and 57. I get the injuries they've had. I know Evan Carter's been
8 games
bum.
If they make up 8 games over 53,
that's
they are playing amazing baseball and the Royals tanked.
Yeah, that's a problem.
The Rangers should not be able to catch the Royals. The Rangers should be looking, honestly, at the Twins and hope that Royce Lewis, or the Rangers should be, looking at the West. Like, can the Rangers win the West? Because they're only 4.5 games out.
They're trending the wrong way.
Yeah,
they're not the Astros.
Yeah,
correct.
They're
correct.
4.5 games out of first place in their division. They're 8 games out of the wild card. So they've got a better chance, and they've got. I mean, it's not only the 8 games out of the wild card. The Rangers have to pass for 5 teams.
Yeah,
to make the wild card.
I just don't believe in the
teams.
Mariners. I don't believe in the Mariners.
Well, the Mariners traded for a lot of players to get better.
I know, but
they're a better team now than they were last week, which is why I'm glad that the Royals have already finished up their 6 games against the Mariners.
Agreed.
They aren't facing the Mariners in September, and the Mariners got better with a number of offensive, guys. I mean, they could have got a lot. I will say they could have got a lot better. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
In the ammunition that they had to really make some moves, that a Rosarina being like the main one, good player, but a Rosarina with somebody else that you bring in, okay, now you're talking if you're the Mariners. They are a better team. The Royals don't face the Mariners again this year. They went 3-3 against them already, so they don't have to worry about that particular team.
I just think it's going to be hard for them to it's going to be hard for them to score a lot of runs. Their pitching's phenomenal. I thought Seattle was overperforming. They were overperforming every single underlying metric by a wide margin.
The teams that the Royals need to look at the rest of the way to make the playoffs or not, it's Minnesota, it's Boston, it's Houston, and Seattle. And either Houston or Seattle is going, or Texas is going to win the West. Because Texas and Detroit are 8 games back of the Royals.
What was Houston at one point?
They were like
because we got them
10 games under 500.
I think we got them when you wanted to get them.
Yeah, they've got 4 games left against Houston. They went 3-0.
That's right.
They went 3-0 against Houston. They still got 4 games left against the Astros.
That'd be a great
They got a
series.
4-game series left against Houston.
It's in Houston, isn't it?
It is. So that's going to be a more difficult. The Royals have a difficult stretch of baseball. There's no getting around that.
Yeah.
The rest of the way, they have 34 of their 53 games left against teams that are above 500. They have 19 games left against teams that are below 500. And they've gone, they've played 465 baseball against teams above 500. So that would amount to of those games remaining, that would give them 6 wins. So that would make them. No, it's 16 and 18. So that'd make them. The 6 came in my mind. It's not a 6. There's a 1 there. That'd make them 16 and 18 in those 34 games if they play 465 baseball. So 16 and 18 in those 34 games. And if they play 552 baseball, which is what they've been doing against teams over 500, not counting the White Sox.
Sure.
White Sox are kicked out of this. Just teams over 500.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, under 500. Teams under 500. Not,
I get what
not
you
the
got.
White
Yeah,
Sox.
yeah.
They would be 10 and 9, which would put them at 26 wins. 26. I'd put them at 86 wins. 86 and 76. If they play the exact same baseball against teams above 500 and the exact same baseball against teams below 500, with the number of games left against those particular groups, it would put them at 86 and 76. So it would put them 1 game under 500 the rest of the way.
See, this is hilarious because I said 86 and 76,
Yeah.
and this is why I'm so bad at math. You did all the underlying background numbers. You did the Goodwill Hunting. Like
I just did it off the top of my head.
You did,
as far as the people that are listening on radio know, all off the top of my head.
But it's the Goodwill Hunting. Like you did the math. You're the guy who solved the problem on the board, and me just go, yeah, no, just based on what I'm feeling. We came to the same conclusion, but you just used the smart way of doing it.
Okay, so in this group, I am definitely not Will, but if you are making me Will, then Dylan is Cole, and Sterling has absolutely been Affleck. I mean, retainer.
Come on.
Sterling is Dylan's the guy that got me the car. It's a nice car. It's got a good engine. It's got a good engine. It's a good car. He's the guy that, is getting ready to fight. Like, I'm not going. Don't go. You're going. I'm not going in the cold. Don't go. But we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Dylan. Dylan is that guy. Quiet guy in the back. Quiet guy in the back, but he's down if things get hairy. Sterling, Ben Affleck, retainer.
I you know what? I'm totally cool with being Ben
Fanboy
Affleck.
is Casey Affleck. I'm not going. I'm not going to fight. If we were going to fight him, we should have fought him earlier when they were. No, we got snacks now. Swear to God, if you're not out there in 5 seconds, when we're done with them, you're next.
I love that I now have 3 Golden Globes. Before this segment, I had 0, and now that I'm Ben Affleck, I have 3 Golden Globes.
Yeah,
it's nice.
And well, I was going to say, but now it's going to be like an X, so it's not that. But anyway, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit of the Royals. We talked a little bit of the rest of the way, but Lucas Erceg, what the bullpen looks like, how much better now are the Royals if we think Erceg can pitch like this in the back end. We'll talk about that. We'll hear from the Chiefs, Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Brian Cook. We'll talk with Matt Lane coming up at noon. We'll draft a flag football team, a dream team for flag football 4 years from now in L.A., and we'll play some sports or leisure. All that's still to come here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. All right, we'll continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Text says, if you aren't out of this car when we're done, then you're next. That's right.
You like apples?
I do.
I'm a pink lady kind of guy.
Well, they got Urseg. How do you like them apples?
Anyone else pink lady, apple guy?
It's fine.
That's the go-to.
You know, I'm not enough of an apple connoisseur to really know the difference of the names. If you just name something
Cosmic, Red Delicious.
Yeah, to know what Red Delicious, I mean, it's going to be very red. I know that one, right?
Only two I know the difference of is Granny Smith and Fiji.
Yeah.
Well, Fiji's a country and a water.
My bad, Fuji.
Fuji.
Boy, that's tough.
Fiji.
That's getting marked.
But what if you eat a Fuji apple in Fiji?
Does it now become a Fiji apple?
Exactly. You're darn right. It does.
While listening to the Bee Gees.
Yeah. It gives me the heebie-jeebies of you just sitting trying to go that route. Tex says, like Chris George's 78-mile-per-hour fastball they knew was coming but couldn't touch? Yeah, that's right, the Ephus pitch. 913-912-4810. Lucas Ursig last night, I know we joked about what it was while he was pitching, but to me it changes the trajectory of the Royals. Because how many games have we watched this year where they're sitting in the position they are at 60-49, 11 games over 500, and the bullpen has let them down a number of games? When it's been Stratton, Schreiber, MacArthur, Hernandez, Zerpa at times, Long at times.
Harvey's contributed in his short time.
Yeah. Nick Anderson, if I didn't mention him. Like, everybody's had their share at times of inability. And what the hope is now, getting a glimpse, getting an inning's worth of Urseg. And hearing Buster Olney this morning, and it was really interesting what Buster Olney said about Lucas Urseg. And he was saying, in his mind, it didn't really make sense as to why the A's were willing to trade Urseg, why they were so against trading Mason Miller, but they were fine trading Urseg. And his point being, if it weren't for Mason Miller, Urseg would be the talk of the A's bullpen. He's doing the same things Mason Miller is doing. It's just 3 miles an hour faster for Mason Miller. So you're getting a lot of people that are, the eyeballs are like, oh my God, it's 103. He's like, but the stuff and what he's doing is ridiculous. So why are the A's willing to move on from a guy? And Urseg, he was a position player, right?
Yeah, he was like a third baseman.
Yeah, so he's in a position where Brett Phillips wants to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching Brett Phillips or not.
Gassing 97 up
97 mile an hour. Brett Phillips. If you don't know and you're listening, Brett Phillips is trying to make it back to the big leagues as a pitcher. And he is working, and he's it showed him in some league where he had a strikeout where he threw 97 mile an hour fastball and then threw it with like an 89 mile an hour slider that looked pretty good. So he's trying to recreate his game and get back to the big leagues as a reliever.
Looks like he agreed to a minor league deal with the Yankees.
So there you go. So he's now in the Yankee system. Great dude. You want to talk about a great guy to have in the clubhouse. Like Brett Phillips might be one of, if not the best clubhouse teammates, right? Just to have on your team. You can have him as a mascot. That's how awesome he is. And it would be such a cool story if he gets, he had the walk-off hit in the playoffs. And he goes around the outfield like he's a plane, right? The little kids playing like they're planes. But if he gets back to the big leagues, and he's joked around with pitching, like they've put him up there on the mound, and he's joked, talked about wanting to be a pitcher. Now he's throwing 97, right? So Urseg has a little bit of that. Only he's pumping gas in there at 100 miles an hour. So hearing from Buster Olney this morning, I thought that was really interesting in him saying that he didn't know or understand the strategy from the A's to where Mason Miller's untouchable, but Urseg, who you've got under control until 2029, was movable for the package that they got. Yeah. Like Mason Miller, we got to be blown away. Urseg, we're definitely moving. Because his point being, without Mason Miller, Urseg would be their closer, and he would be talked about somebody that we'd be watching and going, oh, look at that, 101. Oh, look at that, 100. which is what we did yesterday. And if you're the A's in the 8th inning, Urseg hitting 100 miles an hour, cool. Because Mason Miller's getting ready to come out in the 9th and throw 103. So it's not that crazy of a novelty to them in Oakland. Here, we're watching guys touch 96. That's the stuff they're working with. They get Hunter Harvey, and you're like, okay, Hunter Harvey, already the best arm in the bullpen when they traded for him. And he's at 97, 98. He's got a live arm. Then Irsay comes in there, and he throws 8 fastballs yesterday that average 99. He averaged. He didn't top out at 99. He was hitting 99 consistently. The 8 fastballs, here's the speed. First fastball was 97 miles an hour. But then 99, 99, 100, 99, 99, 99, 100, 99. And a number of those 99s were like 99.3, 99.4, so you don't round up. So when you take those decimals that are like 99.2, 99.3, 99.4, 99.2, 100.3, and you take the 97 point something, it ends up getting up to 99. So it's like, okay, if there's only one 100-mile-an-hour fastball, or there were 200-mile-an-hour fastballs, and there was a 97 in there, how does that average out at 99?
Yeah.
Well, when you throw in the decimal points along with it, then you get that. Because the top 5 pitches yesterday in the game were all Urseg. 100.3, 99.6, 99.2, 99.2, 99.1 were the top 5 pitches yesterday. And then you can, they only showed the top 5 at Fangraphs. You can go further down.
Sure.
Or Baseball Savant, I mean. You can go further down because he also had the 99, another 99.1, a 99.0, another 99.0. So, I mean, I think he probably had the top 8 pitches in the game yesterday with his fastballs. Averaging 99. Like, that's not something we've seen with the Royals. It changes the dynamic because you feel like if you get to the 8th inning, if Hunter Harvey can figure out what he was doing the first half of his season, not the first half of the season, but the first half of his season, half of the first half, if he can get back to that to a degree, and then you've got Urseg in the 9th, it changes the dynamic of the games for the Royals, and now a 4-run game can be enough and can be protected when you hand it over to the bullpen. And now, Sterling, you may not feel the need of, okay, Seth Lugo, you got to go one more inning. Now, Seth, we can take you out in the 6th because we got a fresh bullpen. We're going to go, Schreiber, then we're going to go Harvey, then we're going to go Urseg. We're good. We just saved 15 pitches and an inning on Seth Lugo in this game because we acquired Harvey and Urseg.
And by the way, Harvey has some precedence for bouncing back. This has been his worst stretch probably in the past 3 years. You go back even 2 years, the past 2 years prior to this season, he was in the 2s ERA-wise. I mean, he's a damn good pitcher.
And a small tidbit to that, like he's not a guy that walked people.
No.
And in 3 2/3 innings, he's put guys on base, either walk, hit by pitch, or intentional walk. He's put 8 of them.
Yeah, not great.
In 3 2/3. Jeff Montgomery, back of the baseball card. Harvey's not a guy that walks guys. So back of the baseball card tells me that's going to trend in the right direction.
Yeah, this is the outlier in the negative sense of what Harvey's done. I can't quite get there with Ursig and Mason Miller. Mm-hmm. Mason Miller struck out 70 guys in 40 innings. Ursig's 43 and 37. I'm not getting there.
But his point was, without Mason Miller,
he would be their closer.
Ursig would have so much more of a reputation around baseball, but he's in the 8th inning, so he's not viewed the same way as Mason Miller's on a different level. But his point being, if Ursig was the closer all year, he doesn't understand the A's strategy behind that because they should have got more in return. Yeah. Just simply because he was a setup man doesn't make him a setup man stuff that should return what the Royals gave.
Well, I agree with that. I agree with that. I
think that was the bigger point.
Okay,
maybe?
I think Miller's on a completely different level than Ursig, but Ursig is also a closer on 20 different teams.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ursig would be a closer on close to 20 different teams.
Definitely this one.
And 100% the Royals, and you saw it last night. So you're telling me you don't want your closer to have a 5.31 ERA, 32 strikeouts in 42 1/3 innings, and a whip of 1.42? Because that's James MacArthur.
I don't want that, actually. So that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah. The fact that the Royals have won 60 games with that as their closer, that's their best pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, let's go through. MacArthur might be their best pitcher prior to Ursig and Hunter Harvey, which we'll see.
Yeah.
The fact the Royals have won 60 games is ridiculous. MacArthur's been buns. Like, I'm sorry. I get the sinker's really fun and the curve has some movement to it. Almost every single one of the underlying numbers outside of walks and ground ball percentage is horrendous for MacArthur. There's nothing that screams, yeah, no, he's going to regress back to being regress to the mean positively. There's nothing that screams that on his underlying metrics.
Yeah.
You look at Ursig's and everything is in the 80s.
It's in the red.
It's all in the red, and you're
Great.
just sitting here like, oh, whiff percentage great, strikeout percentage great, barrel percentage great, average exit velocity against 98th percentile. So when he gets hit, it's hit weak. Like, that's closer stuff.
Yeah.
MacArthur, that's
Middle relief. It's middle relief.
his average exit velo is 9th percentile. That means he gets shelled.
Yeah. We need you for an inning here in the 5th or the 6th. We need you for a couple of innings here. That's what MacArthur should be. I want to correct something. Hunter Harvey, it's 6 batters that he's put on in walks and hit by pitch and then an intentional walk, but also 4 hits. So there have been 10 guys reach base against Harvey in 3 2/3 innings. But he's only given up 2 earned runs in that time. So he's working around it with whether that be a double play or strikeout. Like, he's gotten out of those jams that he's put himself in. Stop putting yourself in some jams, and you get some clean innings there. And then you've got a 1-2 punch in the back with the 8th and the 9th inning. And I still believe in, Bubic. I still believe that there's something there with Bubic.
Looked good last night.
Yeah, I mean
it's the White Sox with nothing to play for, but looked good last night.
Yeah, I mean, he got the weak grounder and then a couple of strikeouts. So one looking, one swinging. Got it different ways. So yeah, I like also that Chris Bubic relieved Bobby Witt Jr. Thought that was odd how they moved some things around and it went down. I believe how Matt Quatrero was subbing guys out. I believe it went down as Chris Bubic relieved Bobby Witt Jr.
It was.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's phenomenal. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back, continue rolling, wrap up this hour, and then we'll hear from Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and also Brian Cook up in St. Joe with Chiefs training camp. More Zone next. All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We'll hear from Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and also Brian Cook coming up in the 11 o'clock hour when we head up to St. Joe. 913-912-4810. Text says, was that their best movie? Being Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I mean,
I can't think of another one that were even in
Is Dogma
together.
up there? Have you seen Dogma?
Ben Affleck.
here's the thing.
They're not in Dogma like they're in.
Right, but it's one of my all-time favorite movies, period.
They were in
Goodwill?
the Last Duel,
You saying Goodwill is?
Yeah,
School
Good Will Hunting.
Ties.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite movies in general. And I'm trying to think, was it... Oh, man, I have to go back and look at the timing of it. But there was a movie that Matt Damon did not get the role for, and then he and Ben Affleck decided, well, if we're not going to get that role, then we might as well just make our own movie and create our own role. I'll look it up, or somebody will text in and they'll figure it out.
I have the list of movies they're in together.
Okay.
Chasing Amy, Glory Days,
Yeah, Chasing Amy, Clerks, and Dogma are all kind of the same universe.
School Ties, Field of Dreams.
I'd have to look up the years, but I think it might have been Primal Fear.
Good
Like
Will Hunting.
Primal Fear, that Edward Norton got his incredible break by playing Aaron Stampler. That there was like apparently every single actor in Hollywood that was that age was gunning for that role. That was like the role of a lifetime. Can you play that role? This guy who's completely different personalities in one movie, showing your range there. Can you get that? And then when Edward Norton got it, it was like somebody like, well, that's the role of a lifetime. Like, I mean, it is. And like Edward Norton, like, what do you, like, I think of Edward Norton, I think of, Primal Fear. But I think that might have been one of those. But yeah, like, it's one of the best movies ever, certainly in my mind.
Did they make a book out of it?
Good Will Hunting. If they did, then Will Hunting would have read it. Okay, I know
Like,
that.
Is that what made him so good?
Yeah, yeah. That's if he didn't read as much. You got that from Work in Essex County, page 96. Yeah, I read that too. I feel like, you know what, Dylan? I feel like we should have that clip, and I know you're doing some work with the Chiefs and everything right now with what's going on behind the scenes, but I feel like we should have that clip for Sterling every time he says, I read the book, from Good Will Hunting when he's in the bar, when the guy, it drastically overestimated. Yeah, you got that from Work in Essex County, page 90. Yeah, I read that too. Just like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, you got that from Work in Essex 90? Yeah, I read that too. Just that clip every time Sterling, is like, well, I actually read the book.
Like
oh, you got that word? Yeah, I read that too.
I'm going to find it. I got you.
Yeah. Well, you focus on the.
It was
on
Good Will Hunting. It says here, I mean, fandom wire, if we want to trust
the
that.
Primal Fear.
Yeah, he was heartbroken losing Primal Fear role to Edward Norton. However, it prompted the actor to create
Yeah.
Good Will Hunting.
Create his own role. I think like the legend in Hollywood was that Matt Damon was like, well, that's a role of a lifetime, and if I'm not going to get that, I might as well create my own role of a lifetime. Can I
That's
write my
awesome.
own role? Bleep it. I'm not going to go and audition for other people's roles.
No. Him and Ben Affleck wrote Good Will Hunting, Air, and The Last Duel.
Yeah. Air was pretty good.
Air's pretty good.
Air was pretty good.
But I agree. I think Good Will Hunting is the best.
Yeah.
I have never once heard of the movie Air.
It's a Michael Jordan movie.
It came out like 2 years ago.
Air.
Really?
That was on Netflix.
Nah.
It was a great movie.
You haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
Huh.
Well,
You
it's not
really haven't watched Air?
I haven't even heard of it.
It's not
no.
a book, so.
Oh yeah, it is not a book. That's right. It's a great point. It's not a book.
Oh, there might be.
else.
Let me look. Hang on.
Yeah.
Should get an early checkout for you here, Sterling.
Thank you. That'd be lovely.
Can you get to
Signed copy.
Oh man, that is great. Can you get the pre-release? Oh, that's awesome. Matt Damon played Sonny Vaccaro,
What was
and then Ben Affleck played Phil Knight.
Jay and Silent Bob? I remember those guys. Remember?
That's what you're going with?
Is that Dude? Where's My Car? What movie? No,
That was
Clerks.
that's what I was referencing earlier.
Clerks,
Dogma,
Oh.
Clerks,
Yeah, Clerks is
Chasing
great.
Amy.
which is great because like Jay and Silent Bob are like
Legends.
such a small part of that,
Silent Bob's like the producer or
Right, yeah, oh, yeah.
like runs it.
Yeah, he's
director.
He's got a big voice when it comes to Hollywood. Silent Bob does. But like legit, like Air, Sonny Vaccaro, Phil Knight, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Read a book, dude. Three 912-4810 is the text line. We'll head to St. Joe here in just a little bit. Hear from Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Brian Cook. Practice supposed to be roughly the same length as it was yesterday, so probably around 11:15 is when we'll hear from the coach and the running back and the safety with Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Brian Cook. We were talking in the break, like, you know, you think of movies and like great roles because somehow, you know, Good Will Hunting came up, and then we talked about Primal Fear and Matt Damon not getting that role. Like, it's mixed around Lucas Erceg being brilliant yesterday. But, like, you can't really think of guys in different roles. Like, I can't, even in sports, like, I can't picture, and I don't want to, but people superimpose different things like, oh, Patrick Mahomes with the Bears, if they would have taken him number 2. Like, I can't picture it. No, never. It's going to be, even Brady with the Bucks was weird. It's like, I think of Tom Brady, it's always going to be in a Patriots jersey, but, like, I can't imagine Primal Fear with Matt Damon instead of Edward Norton. Like, it wouldn't be as, like, I don't think it would be as good to me.
Anytime I see Jim from The Office play anything else,
yeah.
I'm like, no, dude.
But you know what?
He's yoked. Everyone's like, he does a great job.
Amazon Prime, like, he does a really good job.
That's great. He's
Jack
Jim
Ryan,
from The Office. I'm sorry.
Dude, it's surprising because I am with you when that series first started. But then I got totally into Jack Ryan, and he became Jack Ryan to me and not Jim. In that, watch the series. It takes you. I'm with you. It takes a few episodes to get over wondering when he goes home at night, does he go home to Pam?
Well,
Right?
and
It
does he prank Dwight? Like
does
who's
not.
he pranking in the show? Is he,
He
just
does not. It's a very serious role,
Oh, okay.
but he kills it. Like he's awesome in Jack Ryan. I did not expect that to be the case. Like honestly, I was weary of I'm like, you know what? I want to watch Jack Ryan, and I want to see what the film/series adaptation of Tom Clancy looks
Yeah.
like with Jim Halpert, with Krasinski, and he was really good. Really good. Took a few episodes, but he was. It wasn't as bad as Tom Cruise's Reacher,
Just because for me, how big Tom Cruise is.
Yeah.
You can't write about this hulking man and like
Yeah.
he's yoked and you're like, Tom Cruise is 5'5".
Right. That never worked. Tom Cruise's Reacher was something I never was able to be okay with watching that, and luckily it was a movie, not the series.
Yeah.
But they found the right guy now for Reacher at Prime Video. By the way, airs on Prime Video, not Netflix.
Did you? By the way, have you ever noticed in certain movies with Tom Cruise to make him look taller, they do a whole bunch of camera work?
Oh, yeah.
Like I was watching one movie and it's either from lower. I think they move the camera lower. And I'm like, look, you can see his shirt line way down here compared to everyone else's. They like drop the camera down to make him look taller.
He has to literally upstage everybody.
Him and De Niro have the same shoes, so they have these little
Really?
flats. Yeah, they add about 3 to 4 inches to
These shoes?
Yeah,
These
these
shoes?
shoes. Get your shoe box. Yeah, or shine
Go
box.
and get your
excuse
shine
me.
box. Yeah, that was somebody tweeted out yesterday. It was like greatest moments in TV and movie history where somebody realizes immediately they're dead. And it's like, dude, it's Pesci walking into an empty room. Like it's one of the greatest moments. And he walks into an empty room and he knows, like, oh no,
Yeah,
it's good. It's good, fellas. He made a mistake.
Sixth Sense.
He
Sorry. Spoiler alert.
he went after
Spoiler alert.
he went after a made man.
he did.
Spoiler alert. The Sixth Sense.
No, but it also Speed. When I can't remember the actor's name, but it was the guy who was the bomb squad, and he's in the house before the bomb goes off, and he sees it, getting ready to go off, and he just stares into the camera, and then the house explodes.
MacGruber.
No, that's not the one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I laughed at that, but
Yeah, you're
not
just
sure.
Dark. That's dark,
that was
dude.
very dark. Like he stares right in the camera, like, well.
Remind me not
It's a
to
good
get in a
role.
bomb situation with Jason Anderson.
Well, I mean, it's fake. You just gotta suspend reality, Sterling. You gotta understand that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is talking today, and he has become. And one of the things I'm going to ask Matt Lane about coming up at noon. He wrote about Deneric Prince and the opportunity now that Deneric Prince has, that he's getting as a running back, and how real is Deneric Prince being maybe the second back for the Chiefs? How real is he as a guy that the Chiefs clearly would like to see what they have in him?
Yeah.
Would like to see if they can turn the size-speed combination into an effective runner, into a guy that can offer you some production outside of just Pacheco and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Because Pacheco is good. He is an upgrade over Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But he is not, a Saquon Barkley or, a true or McCaffrey, like that big-time difference maker. He's good in this offense. And I appreciate what Isaiah Pacheco brings to the Chiefs. I am not saying that Deneric Prince is going to offer more than that, but I think the Chiefs are continuing to look for somebody. Maybe it's to fill the role of Jerick McKinnon. Because remember, last year during OTAs and minicamp, it was all about, how good Deneric Prince is receiving the football. Oh, how good he is out of the backfield. He's such a good receiving running back. And then it didn't, work out when they put pads on. And if they're trying to find somebody to replace Jerick McKinnon, because that's a big part of their offense.
Sure.
Big part of their offense is finding a running back they can throw the ball to. And they threw the ball to Isaiah Pacheco more in the playoffs last year. And they've thrown the ball a little bit to Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But can they find a guy that can fill the role of Jerick McKinnon? And can Deneric Prince pass block? Can he be there in the pocket when a blitz is coming and stand in and take the hit because I know he can catch the football, and he's got some speed, and get him out in space where he doesn't have to set up blocks and read the holes opening up on the offensive line and find that perfect mesh between patience and then explosion through the hole. He doesn't have to do that if he's out in space on a screen pass or a swing pass or something like that, and now you just use your speed and size to your advantage.
But wasn't that where it was, and everyone has that one pass pro rep where he got just destroyed by,
Oh, yeah.
was it Leo Chenal or really, it was, I think it was last year's training camp. And I feel like everyone still has that one memory of him in pass pro. It's too bad because for all the good he did, it got erased with one rep. And obviously, the coaching staff sees everything, so it's not just that. But from the fans' perspective, I know me personally, even I almost saw everything he did, and I saw the one pass pro set and go, it just ain't gonna work.
Like the rep that's being shown about Xavier Worthy.
Yes,
Getting tossed
it's the
around.
Same thing.
Josh Williams into what was that? Karlaftis or Chanel, whoever tossed him.
Oh my gosh!
Because
yeah.
Josh Williams, man pressed him,
Was
knocked
great,
him off balance.
Great for Williams. We need to see that more from Josh Williams.
Bad for Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Now that clip goes all over the internet yesterday, and now Xavier Worthy is the worst draft pick in the NFL. Now Xavier Worthy is, and it's funny because even the person that posted that clip and was, whatever he, titled it or labeled it or whatever the description was, something along the,
Basically along the lines of like, this is the guy they're talking about.
Yeah,
It was a Bills fan. I think it was a Bills fan actually.
But the guy who originally posted it, like then in his replies, like people are like, oh my god, and he's like, actually this means nothing. He's like, this is no big deal. So like all the replies were downplaying that particular rep, but he did post that particular rep, which got all the replies of, oh, that's terrible. Oh, I mean, I've never, that's as bad of a rep as you're going to see for a wide receiver, which I don't disagree, but I'm not then going to extrapolate that as in, well, now he's not ever going to be able to get off the line of scrimmage. Because I remember a all-pro, Hall of Fame potential, biggest difference-making, playmaking wide receiver maybe in the NFL getting punked by L'Jarius Sneed at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Tossed to the ground, then thrown to the ground again by L'Jarius Sneed. Not tossed off balance and then a linebacker chucks him, which how many receivers that are going to be catching their balance and a linebacker defensive end hits them that's just going to be able to, catch their balance and then keep running. Like, no, that was L'Jarius Sneed that hit him to the ground, then hit him to the ground again. And obviously what I'm saying is Xavier Worthy is Tyreek Hill. No, obviously that's not the case. But one rep can be embarrassing. And one rep now for Xavier Worthy, every single rep, because fans out there that can video everything, the media can't, but the fans out there that can video everything, that one rep's going to be put out in public. At Texas, those things aren't recorded. Like those, not most of every single college football fall camp is closed because heaven forbid a media member see them running a play. Because then clearly that would mean they would lose the game if that happened. But there's so many closed practices. So at Texas, Xavier Worthy in practice, I don't know, did he get bodied a couple times in practice? Did he get tossed around a couple times and then go out there and have 1,300 yards receiving and 10 touchdowns? And 80 receptions?
Practice?
Yeah, we're talking about practice.
We're talking about practice.
Yeah. So it's not to excuse that, but I also don't know how often, because it's one thing in practice to, here's the route, here's your position, you're learning the whole playbook, versus in a game, we're not going to line you up on the line of scrimmage against Patrick Surtain. We're going to have you in motion. You're going to be off the line of scrimmage. You're going to have a little bit of space to be able to make your move and get away from that particular defender. We're not going to have Surtain, 4 feet away from you at the snap to be able to reach out, chuck you, throw you to the ground. It's not going to happen. We're not going to do that. That wouldn't be smart for Andy Reid to do. But in training camp, you're learning the positions, you're learning the plays. So this is the position you're playing here on this play. So go line up on the line of scrimmage and get off that block. Well, you're rookie, Joshua Williams, third year. He's got long-ass arms. He's strong. He tossed you to the side. You lost your balance into a linebacker, and you got punked. It happens.
They're paid millions of dollars too on the defensive side
Yeah,
of the football.
absolutely.
Between coaches and players, there is millions of dollars spent trying to stop you. And also, these are the same defenders seeing you every day in practice, doing one-on-ones against you every day in practice. So they know your tendencies and your strengths and weaknesses better than anyone.
Well, and that was my point. Thank you, Dylan. I'm the exact same page as you. I mean, the defense, can we talk about how a great rep that was for Joshua Williams, and also about maybe a little fire for him after saying, the cornerback room's wide open. He's a physical guy, and he goes, all right, I'll be physical. I ain't getting punked by a rookie.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove a point. Like, we can look at it as a negative for Worthy, which, sure. But let's look at it from the positive as Joshua Williams. What a rep from him.
Well, I think both things can be true with Xavier Worthy. Joshua Williams, different conversation. And I think it's a great point because nobody on the video was talking about Joshua Williams, right? It was all about Xavier Worthy. But Joshua Williams, when Steve Spagnuolo says he's waiting for someone to step up and take the job. But both things can be true with Xavier Worthy. He can, in his career, have trouble getting off the line of scrimmage from press coverage. That can be an issue, while also having the play that Mahomes threw 60 yards down the field for a touchdown. Both things can be true with Xavier Worthy. If Xavier Worthy was the perfect wide receiver, he wouldn't have been there where the Chiefs drafted him.
It would have been
I got a
Marvin
question.
Harrison Jr.
I do have a question for you both. Does Tyreek Hill stink?
I think he's terrible.
Yeah, I
no, he's the best wide receiver in Chiefs history.
And what video was
Oh, yeah.
viral
It's
from
L'Jarius
L'Jarius
Sneed,
Sneed? I
man.
mean, it happens to
Pushing- yeah.
every receiver, especially
Absolutely.
undersized ones.
But I think both things can be true. I think Xavier Worthy, this is not to dismiss that rep, I think Xavier Worthy, potentially, and I think early on, it's going to be something we watch. Does he have the ability to get off press man coverage on the line of scrimmage to get free? If he doesn't, then that's on the coaches to figure out how to maximize his skill set.
Yeah.
But both things can be true. He can have trouble in that in his career, that particular part of the game, while also being a game breaker that Mahomes gets outside the pocket and just frickin' bleep it, X down there somewhere.
Well, and what's tough for defenses is they're going to try and press him. But they also
Yeah, for
understand
sure.
if they let him get by,
Miss.
you are screwed. And that's why he didn't
You
have
reach,
an issue.
I teach.
Yeah,
You, it's
basketball
a
basketball term,
but you reach and miss, you're done. Like,
Yeah.
that's the other part of it. It's a great point. If he shakes him and Josh Williams lunges and Xavier Worthy goes by him, don't worry about running the rep. Just get your hand in the air and go. Because that's the longest pass play with Mahomes and Rashee Rice was that.
Yep.
It was whoever was press manning against Rashee Rice, and he immediately beat him, and then Rice read it to just run straight down the field, and Mahomes read it with him and saw that he won and hit him, and boom. Then he just took off. That wasn't the rep Rashee Rice was supposed to run, but that was the rep they both saw because the defender missed. Xavier Worthy's toast. He ain't getting caught from behind. So, yeah, it's a great point. If you're going to press up on Xavier Worthy, you'd better make sure you get him or slow him down a little bit so that you have the ability to turn your hips and run with him.
And we have two of those guys now.
That's right.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Yeah.
And 2 more points
And
here.
you could argue Kelsey. Sorry, Sterling, but you could argue Kelsey too, because you're going to double Kelsey or Hollywood, and whoever you don't, you also have to get hands on them and not miss.
Yeah. And last year proved that Rashee Rice, if you want to press man him and he gets
Sure.
past you, they'll adjust on the fly. That was the longest pass, like we just said. But
I think 2 things. One, Andy Reid is the best offensive mind in football. You think if Xavier struggles in press man, you think he's not going to be a guy that can get him open
Right.
or at least set him up. Yeah, they're fine. And then the second part was he never had an issue with press man in college. Never had it at Texas. That was the whole thing. I think it was Matt Harmon with reception perception. Came up. No, he's undersized,
right.
but
The size, the height weight combination, yeah, it's going to be an issue.
But when it
Okay.
came to press man,
Right.
they found ways to get him open,
Yeah.
and he didn't have an issue with it. So I don't foresee it being this.
I don't either.
Again, great rep by Joshua Williams is what I'm taking away from this more than anything else.
I think I'm taking away the Josh Williams great rep. I'm also taking away that is something that that Xavier will have to worry about because of his size, that if a stronger cornerback gets his hands on him, it will be tough for Hollywood to break off that. He's not DK Metcalf. DK just tosses it to the side and goes and runs his route. That's not what Xavier Worthy's going to be able to do. That's just reality. And the same thing I said last year about Rashee Rice. When Rashee Rice broke that big play and he got caught from behind, my point was If Rashee Rice didn't get caught from behind, he wouldn't have been there in the second round for the Chiefs to draft him.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with Rashee Rice getting caught from behind there after the 60-yard play because that's the reason the Chiefs were able to draft him in the second round. If he toasted everybody and was running a 4.3, he ain't there. He's not there. And if Xavier Worthy were 10 pounds heavier and 2 inches taller with the production he put up and running the 4.2, he ain't there when the Chiefs draft him. But that's what happens when you're drafting later on in the first round. You can get a first-round receiver that isn't a top 10 guy. He can turn into that, but isn't that top 10 prospect, right? It's not Malik Neighbors. It's not Marvin Harrison Jr.
Sure.
Right? It's not Roma Dunze. But he offers a skill set that the Chiefs need that I believe Andy Reid will be able to maximize.
And again, he catches the football.
Yeah.
He catches the damn ball.
Yeah, it's the most important word in his position.
It's not wide.
No, I don't even care where they align. I don't care where he lines up. It doesn't matter to me where he lines up. It's the receiver part. It's the fact that you're receiving the football. Line up anywhere you want.
MVS had some issue with that. He goes, well, I'm wide. I got half my name right. I got half of it. Come on. I'm not wide. What more do you want? I can do one or the other.
I'm shooting 50% on the name of my position.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, come on. What's wrong with this? All right. Not everybody's going to. If I was a baseball player, I'd be a Hall of Famer. All right. 50%. Not too bad. Not too bad. By the way, the women's individual all around. They're going through warm-ups right now, so I don't know if people want to give if they want updates or not. Do you think we have time? They said that the horn blew, and then they're stretching, and then a huddle, but that was a couple of minutes ago. Let's do that. Let's sneak in a 2-minute break, and on the other side, Matt Nagy, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Brian Cook, so we can just take that in its entirety and roll from there. We'll take a quick timeout, come back. More Zone next. noon 25 after Matt Lane. In 4 years, flag football will be in the Olympics. And, as training camp's going on and we're watching the Olympics and the Olympic spirit, thought, what's the dream team for flag football? Also, what would be the name of that team? Like, we got the dream team. Like, it can't be dream team. It can't be flag dream team. Like, it can't be
The
that one.
speed team.
Ooh, I like that one. Seam team? No, seam is more baseball. A seam head.
Would it
Yeah.
be the Redeem team since we just got dunked on by Japan by 21 points in the most recent World Games of football?
But that was real, actual football. That was a gridiron
right.
football.
You're
not
right.
the flag football. I don't know what it'd be. You can't just go flag dream team. Like, you can't just go dream team. The Redeem team was fun because it rhymed.
Right.
And they came back and won gold.
Yeah, and it did fit.
But I don't know what it would be for the football, the flag football
The steam team.
collection of all of these different.
Because they're coming with steam, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to give some thought to that.
Kareem team. And you have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the head coach.
That makes no sense. I mean, that just is absurd. That's what it is?
I don't know.
I mean,
There's not many things that rhyme here, Jason.
Maybe it's the team that we need to get away from. Maybe another word at the end.
Squad.
yeah. It was Jeff Daniels in Speed, by the way. Jeff Daniels in
Yep.
Speed when he was staring at the camera right before the house blew up.
For some reason, I was thinking of the guy in Fargo, but they look alike, but
yeah.
not the guy.
Yep. No, it
What
was
rhymes with squad, by the way?
Dad bod. Good Lord.
The abroad squad. But they're playing locally, so it wouldn't work.
Cream team. They're just going to cream their opponents, just destroy them. That was a text.
I marked you saying that, Sterling. Don't look at
It
me.
was a text.
Yeah.
It's a text that said that. Scream team.
Yeah, you didn't.
They're
put-
screaming down the field. They're so fast.
Unfortunately, you didn't put the A in the Kareem. You didn't enunciate that one.
No, that was the text.
No, I'm saying earlier.
Me?
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. I see what you're saying, yeah.
The quad squad, if Saquon Barkley's on, you get dudes with huge
You
quads.
can't just name it after one person, though. Like, it wasn't the.
I think we need to work backwards of finding the word that's easy to rhyme with like a team word at the end.
Yeah.
Like find like a positive word and then we'll figure out the team one.
Yeah,
at
was
the
it
end.
Dream Team wasn't named Mike's Tykes? Because Michael Jordan was the main guy. Like, it had to be.
Scott's Tots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott stuff. But I went Mike's.
Yeah.
I went Mike's Tykes because it was Mike. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. We got 4 years to figure it out. Actually, you know what? We don't have 4 years because you got to name it first. You got to be the first one to name it. So if you're not the first one to name it, then somebody else has it, and then they get credit for it, and you want to be able to be the one that named it forever. Forever.
I got one. Got to check. Flawed squad.
Flawed?
Yeah, I don't want to be flawed, though.
Yeah. I don't know what the flawed is.
Like what?
Flawed,
Where,
F-L-A-W-E-D?
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're
Where's
flawed?
the flaw? Yeah. Yeah.
Like no flaw squad? Like no flawed squad? Like, I don't know.
Well, maybe he's talking about your team. Even though you haven't drafted yet, he already knows that your team's going to be not as good as mine. So
I will
that
guess.
makes sense. That makes sense.
I'm going to take a shot here and say the top 3 teams of whatever NFL players that are a collection of flag football teams, each individual team would win gold.
Yeah. I was
I'm
going
gonna-
to say, I don't think any of us
I'm
have
going
an
to go.
issue. having
Yeah,
a
I think any of our teams
We should do
will
how
win gold against another country in flag football.
we should do how far down can you go before it's a competition? Like, okay, so the quarterback's Aiden O'Connell, and
Here's Matt Nagy.
Every day just grow a little bit. I think it's important for myself to make sure that he understands that this is not going to be a race to the finish line in a week or two. Like, this is something that's going to happen over time. I've used some experiences that I've been in before with younger players that I've been able to be with for several years, and been using that as examples to him of, hey, listen, in time, be patient. Don't get frustrated. It's going to be good for you in the end, as long as you can step back and see the big picture. His attitude's been phenomenal. We knew the person, and the kid is great. He's got a great attitude. So just putting it all together now and taking it and running with it.
Coach, the last week and a half you've used Generic as a second back. Just
Yeah.
how ready do you feel like he is for that role?
Well, we'll see. I think he's, as far as him being here now with us a couple years, it's important for him to know that he's going to get opportunities, which is what the preseason is all about. When you get out there, you get opportunity, what are you going to do with it? He's in that spot right now. So he's worked hard to get to that point. Protection is going to be critical. We saw last year when he came into here what he was able to do in the pass game, 7-on-7, OTAs. Now we got to step it up. More than anything, mentally, where are you at? Can you be able to know that we're going to be able to trust you in protections and then making your assignments work?
Man, last year, penalties were obviously one of the issues on offense. You had a lot of penalties, especially on the offensive line. But how do you feel like, in retrospect, that did kind of hamper things last year? And
How do you think what? I'm sorry.
how do you feel like the penalties hampered things last year on the offense? And how have you seen the improvement, especially with Jawan and some of the technique gaps?
Right. So it was something where, for us, we knew that there was the issue with JT, with some of the false starts and the alignments, and it became a big deal. Penalties that you have set you back. So you're looking at 2nd and long, you're looking at 1st and long, you're looking at creating a 1st down on 3rd down or a big play in the red zone, and now all of a sudden you got to reset and do it again. Our guys are aware of that, but we don't, I think, going into a new season, it is just that, it's a new season, and we make sure that we focus in and lock in on the fundamentals of being smart and staying away from penalties. But they're going to happen, but we can't, it can't be repetitive like they were last year. We got to stay away from that, and if we do that, we stay positive with the yards, we think we can be pretty good on offense.
Have you seen improvement from Jawan as far as his changing technique this year?
Has what's that?
Have you seen an improvement
Yeah,
from Jawan?
yeah, I think so. I think there's been a good improvement for him with, you're not seeing it right now. Now we'll see when we get in the game, but he's probably locked in a little bit himself as well and making sure that we don't get into that pattern of the false starts. But he's done great with it, and I think in general, now today we did some backed up situational stuff, and so it's emphasizing the cadence backed up.
What do you think so far, what you've seen at left tackle? You know Wanya a little bit more, but now you're a couple weeks into this with Kingsley.
So far, it's a healthy competition. I think the guys have had great attitudes. Again, I'm going to keep going back to that word opportunity. We next several weeks here, they're going to get opportunities to prove who should be that guy at left tackle.
What puts you over the edge to win the job, and what is the quality, I guess, you're looking for?
It's incremental. It's not one play. So if a guy goes out and has a great play in a protection or in the run game, he's got to do that over and over again. Consistency. So if you can be consistent with doing what we're looking for, what Coach Heck and Corey Matei are teaching, what Coach Reed wants schematically, if you can do that consistently, it's never going to be perfect. They're both young, and we understand that. And I think we're all lucky and fortunate that we have a quarterback in Patrick that has a phenomenal pocket awareness, especially at left tackle on your blind side.
What's it been like finally having Xavier and Rice and Hollywood out there at the same time? And how, I know it's early, how does this year's receiving corps maybe, how is it different than the previous years?
Yeah, it's something for us where we're very optimistic in the fact of knowing that you got a lot of speed out there. You got guys that really haven't worked together yet. So being able to put those three guys together in unison, schematically, learning how to win versus man, having a great feel and learning how to get open for Pat in zone. Kelsey's phenomenal at that versus zone. So how they get to watch Kelsey in zone. So it's important that the three of those guys get together and we can just kind of move them around like different pieces to the puzzle, and then they got to make plays. And I think the one thing that you see from all three of those guys is they got phenomenal tracking ability of the ball when it's in the air.
Let's go two more.
Having Clyde back in practice for the last 2 days, can you maybe speak about that? Can you also just speak about who he is as a person and how grateful you are to have him back?
Clyde's been great. I really enjoy Clyde, having him around. He's a veteran. He's somebody that just has a calming presence to being back there. We talk about with Deneric Prince as a younger guy coming in, learning protections. Clyde has all the protections down. He knows the timing of screens. He knows his patience in the hole as a running back. And then as a person, he's just a special human being. He has a great balance of on the field and off the field, and I think it shows, and it shows with his teammates and his coaches.
I know you guys do your homework on draft picks like Xavier, Green, like Hollywood, but does anything surprise you just getting around them every day?
I wouldn't say anything surprises me, but the biggest thing is probably just their ability to push through tough times. These training camps with Coach Reed are tough, and those guys know it, they've heard it, and they've been able to stay consistent when they're tired. Don't feel sorry for yourself. We got to get to the next play. When you're out there, if you have a drop, don't drop the next one, but be positive. And Pat does a phenomenal job at doing that. We as coaches want to extend that, but really proud of him. All right, thank you.
All right, there's Matt Nagy. Good stuff from him, and a number of things I want to react to from Matt Nagy. But we'll hear from Clyde Edwards-Helaire and then Brian Cook here very soon. But interesting stuff there on the left tackle spot. The guys, the consistency, incremental improvements along the way. Bad reps, good reps. But what are you doing throughout the course of the preseason? Juwan Taylor working more and more on the cadence with Patrick Mahomes. That certainly seemed like he had it down until he got singled out for being a little bit early at times. But here's Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
What's your day-to-day like? I mean, like, what are you dealing with? If you'd like to talk about it or not, I don't know.
As far as day-to-day since, December 22nd, 2018, that's my best friend and I got into, I had a self-defense situation, and I would say that's probably where majority who's not in the situation or could be in the same spots that I am. But just like when I go back home, I'm visiting, some of my friends who are, at grave sites and doing those things. So it's different when you feel like your whole life is, football player or everything is geared towards this, but it's so much more to, just putting the pads on. And like I say, it's like you ask day to day. It's not just that. It's, I'm school, just got married. It's so many things that comes with a person. But I feel like, that's kind of one of my main things.
When did you start, like, trying to care for yourself mentally after that incident? Did you just push it away for a while?
I would say with that happening at such a young age, my first couple of years, you just try to block everything out and like, at some point I'm gonna get over it, and you start to realize that just doesn't happen. You get older and you realize, hey, no matter the age, no matter the person, no matter the situation, everyone needs help at some point. And it's just being able to kind of step up and know, no, this is the help I need, or this is what I need to ask for. And even talking with my dad, talking with my mom. She was in the Army. My dad, past Marine, ex-cop. He's sent me books. We've communicated back and forth. It's not just, I have my support system here, but I also have my support system home. And I feel like that's the biggest thing. I'll say now I'm probably the most level-headed and clear that I've probably been within the last 5 or 6 years.
You tweet that the chief staff helped you get through your latest struggles.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of treatment or some sort of help that they're giving you that you really want to point out?
To really go step by step, man, that'll be a Julie Freimeyer question. I know everybody knows that name. She's amazing, and even Rick Boakholder, he's also amazing. Anything that I need, I just kind of communicate to them, let them know just kind of how I'm feeling, and it's a funnel of things that they go through initially when they were asking me the questions, just trying to see my temperament of certain things. Not really big on taking medicine, so it's more of just having different mechanisms of coping and having people to talk to who actually know or, could help me through those situations. And it's not just the medical staff. All the way down to, we have Schaefer and, some of the guys who are on our security staff who, ex-cops, ex-Marines, or just those things. I'm a guy who can talk to anybody. And if I can get the help from, even if it's one of you guys who I feel experienced something, or I could talk to, or a different coping mechanism that they feel help them, I try my best to get whatever I need for help so I can come out here and perform.
What would your message be to someone who's going through this like you have?
Honestly, it just takes the courage to talk about it, and having PTSD and dealing with it. Once people kind of bring it up, it's not something that I always want to talk about, because I never really know how my body will react or my mind. It's just something that I can't really pinpoint or know exactly what's going to happen. But really, just having that safe space. And I feel like right now, within those past 2 years, and actually being open with my dad, I mean, because it was points that he told me things that I feel like he never told anybody. I mean, even guys that's probably part of his platoon, or guys that he was deployed with, probably, haven't heard the stories, or they know exactly what he's going through, but they haven't talked about it, to kind of let that release go. So I feel like talking is a big thing, but it's just getting over that hump personally, being able to know that, honestly, just everybody goes through things, good, bad, just being able to cope with it and know everybody's human, and everybody, it's some point it's a stepping stone. I just 25 years old, just trying to live the rest of my life healthy.
How much does it bond with someone like Isaiah? It seems like you guys have become really close. Help with that day-to-day.
Yeah, I mean, it's having a guy that I'm coming in the locker room, he's going to be smiling. Even if so, I feel like a lot of guys kind of tend to me for that spark. And as guys say I'm goofy, I feel like I'm kind of aware of my surroundings most of the time, but it's just being able to kind of spread that energy. And it's like, if I'm that Debbie Downer or that guy that's not going to bring the energy, like, what else are you going to bring? So I feel like I kind of rubbed off on Isaiah early on, just because, I mean, it's a learning path, it's a learning curve. I mean, I've had ups and downs through my past 5 years here. It's just being able to smile and get through it, and that's those things. He's dealt with injuries. He's dealt with, those ups and downs, and, I mean, 2 Super Bowls, 2 years, he's on his high horse, and it's just being able to come in on those bad days, on those good days, and still be able to smile. And I feel like that's the best part.
Clyde, with PTSD, what do you, on the worst days, what are you dealing with? What's that like for you?
Honestly, man, I really, I have PTSD and sickly vomiting syndrome. So it's something that's kind of neurologically that they just kind of help me with and walk through it. And I mean, sometimes I'm admitted into the hospital, something like can't stop throwing up, and it's just, I can't, like, nothing pretty much to stop it. And the only person who kind of put me in the right direction was Julie Frymeyer early on, to get me some of the meds at the time when I am probably going through an episode, to get me over that hump. But it's real bad dehydration, dropping rate real fast. But it's really just mentally just not being there. And it's one of those things where, early on, like, guys who kind of pay attention, Trav, Kadarius at times, they can even, like, they'll know, like, ahead of time, like, okay, Clyde might not, he's not laughing, he's not giggling, he's not himself. Like, we just got to make sure we checking on him as the person, not to just be out here, the energy giver, the laugher, the guy that kind of keeps the locker room going. I feel like, that's a big part of what I bring. And then once my number called, it's go out there and perform, and they know it's no question with that. So I feel like that's just what it is.
Is there a message that you'd like to get out to maybe other people that are dealing with PTSD?
I would say, dealing with PTSD, seek help when possible, but don't make it a burden on a person that's dealing with PTSD. Take little steps, walk them through certain things. Don't try to be overwhelming, and then try to not bring up the trauma as much as possible. Even after, unfortunately after the parade, I either went on Facebook or Twitter also, and I just kind of wanted to remind everybody in KC, like, it's not something that you want to keep bringing up. You never want to bring up past traumas or bad things, because, I mean, you never really know what funnel that'll bring the next person down, or what situation or what spot that they were in during that time. So try to lead in positive direction, and I feel like being a football player and kind of being that stand-up guy and guys who are looked up to, feel like it was at least my job, or some guys to kind of step up and talk about the things that some people feel vulnerable enough not to talk about.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Clyde.
Wow. That was some incredibly vulnerable answers, discussion from Clyde Edwards-Helaire, talking about the PTSD that he's been battling. And he put out the tweet a few days ago about battling that. It gives an idea as to what he's going through when he's listed as out with sickness. Because we've asked about it. Like, okay, so what's he going? Like, he's battling something because he's constantly missing practice for sickness. Well, he's dealing with this and trying to make it through this on a daily basis. And sometimes there's bad days where you're not going to work. We'll talk more about that. Here's Brian Cook.
Feeling good. I know I'm kind of sweaty. We get on practice, but overall, I'm feeling pretty good. Recovery going well. Was well. Now just my preparation is probably the main thing I look forward to as far as day in and day out. And camp give me the opportunity to like really see what works, what don't work going into the season. It's a love-hate relationship, if I'm being honest with you. I get a chance to work on my things, but at the same time, I mean, like, the sun and the heat and the pad, all that stuff kind of can get taxed on your body. But I said love-hate relationship, definitely, but I'm definitely excited for the challenge.
How do you feel about the way the secondary is coming together? Obviously,
My bad. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. How do you feel like the secondary is coming together? Obviously, LJ's not here this year, but Jamari playing expanded roles, you guys in the mix, and Kelvin. How do you feel it's come along so far?
It's coming along pretty well. I mean, everything takes time. Everything that that you want to be polished in a way that we can be able to compete at the highest level coming the season. You're going to take little rinks and kinks. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we missing the guy. We're not missing the guy. LJ had went on and moved on, so props to him. But now we have opportunity to come together as a team with new faces and new guys to be brought into the system. So it's a challenge, but we're looking pretty good so far.
You've always been a guy that's gone 100 miles an hour. Have you been able to get back to that speed after the injury in this game so far?
Yeah, for sure. It's every day just kind of pushing the throttle a little more and see what I can do, what I can't do. You know what I'm saying? But that's what camp is for.
Brian, how challenging was last year to have to watch from the sideline, and how did you manage to stay positive throughout that initial rehab?
It was challenging. The hardest part is realizing like your guys out there battling, you can't do anything to help them, But at the end of the day, like shout out to them, they got the job done. So it wasn't that bad. You look at the end, you know what I'm saying? I was able to recover, they got the job done on the back end, and I have an opportunity now to represent myself and where I am now in today's time.
Hey Brian, Xavier caught that deep one today. What's the challenge going up against him every day?
It's speed, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, we was in zero coverage, so, some things like that. I say, work on different techniques, work on different things that we can work and what can work. So this is the day where, one thing, okay, I got beat. So now you go to the drawing board and see what I can do next.
How good of a look is that giving you guys? Just all the
Oh, it's great, yeah. They have 4-3, 4-2, 4-3, 4-2, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely a lot of work on our back end, but it's that every day we keep grinding. We get a chance to compete with them on the highest level. Obviously, 1-5 back there throwing a pill the way he is. So it's just every day is a competition. Every day we look forward to it.
Brandon, what was involved in the injury? It seems like you had a history.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. What was involved in the injury, and did you have a previous injury in that ankle too?
Yeah, so the same injury. Honestly, I had I broke my tibia bone. This is the outside part of your ankle in college. So I had to repair that in college, and then last year, week 13 against the Packers, I kind of re-injured it. I kind of I'll just basically tell you the truth. I kind of just basically ruptured the tightrope that was already in there, and I think tore my deltoid ligament as well. So he went in, repaired that, repaired the tightrope, added another tightrope in there, and then added an anchor. So I got a little metal on my ankle for sure. So it's all good though. We still back here. We still back out here.
I know when it happened, Coach kind of said us a little something like that. You had a previous injury that might have helped. I mean, was that kind of accurate? I mean,
what's that? Say that again?
Did it kind of helped with this injury that maybe it didn't make it as worse as it could have been?
Oh yeah. So the fact that I had the hardware in there prior kind of saved me from basically destructing the whole ankle as a whole. You know what I'm saying? But still, obviously, I had to get surgery on it again. But having that hardware in it before kind of protected it from getting worse, being a worse recovery for me.
How would you say the defense overall as a whole unit looks so far in camp?
Look pretty good. We halfway through, you know what I'm saying? We second some days together, obviously. We have, like you mentioned the other day, we have days where they obviously can get us, but day in and day out, we can still compete and we're still challenging ourselves, challenging them, playing to play out, and it's paying off in the long run.
Brian, we heard Steve earlier this camp say that he was tracking
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. But it's sneaky because I think it's me, somebody else right next to me, and it's definitely some competition for it. But try to find ways to get the ball, in our hands and in the game. It will help out, especially when we have 1-5 on our team again.
I'm sure the defense is still trying to find its identity, but here in the early days, can you maybe shed some light on what that could be?
I'm going to say it again.
Like, what's the identity of the defense this year?
I mean, honestly, we're still trying to figure that out. I know one thing, though, definitely going to be some effort, definitely going to be some tenacity and attitude.
Patrick's always talked about, going against the best defense, and you guys went up against one of the best quarterbacks, not the best quarterback in the league. What is it like when he says that about you guys, and you go up against him and practice every single day?
Oh, it's uplifting. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a great thing for someone like him to give us praise and show us some not just respect, but also show us some love on the back end. Obviously, this is a offense-driven league, but having our quarterback being who he is, able still to give us our props day in and day out, and obviously competing against us every day, we can learn from him too. I can ask him certain questions like, "Hey, what did you see? What are you reading?" and things like that to help us get the job done at the end of the day.
Last one right here.
Yeah, so what's the mentality you're taking to get through camp? I mean, these are seriously hard days with the weather and things like that. So what's the mentality you're taking?
One day at a time, man. One day at a time.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
All right, there's Brian Cook. Pretty extensive injury, man. Talking about some of those things that they had to do to go in and all the things that were messed up in that ankle. And when that ankle gets turned the wrong way, there's so much stuff that gets that gets destroyed and ruptured and ripped apart.
Are you trying to make me pass out, Jason?
No, I'm not. Actually, yes. yes, I am trying to do that. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and continue rolling, wrap up this hour, and we'll talk with Matt Lane coming up at noon, and certainly want to get back into Clyde Edwards-Helaire and, man, how open and vulnerable he was in talking about battling PTSD and what he's going through on a daily basis, what the last 2 years of his life have been like, trying to get a handle on it. We'll take a timeout. More Zone next. more extensively, because we got Sports or Leisure coming up at 1 o'clock, more extensively about what we heard with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and the mental side of things, because he's been out of practice sick. I did not hear the diagnosis outside of the PTSD that he had, but he was asked, like, okay, what are your bad days like? And kudos to him for opening up and talking about this stuff, because that's difficult to do, and maybe it gives other people the strength or courage, as he talked about, to open up about it as well. If this big, football player is doing those things and being incredibly vulnerable with things that typically we don't allow people to be vulnerable with, or we aren't caring enough with others' vulnerability when they do open up, especially in sports.
Yeah.
Especially in football. But talking about it overall and what he's dealing with, and having the days where he's constantly vomiting, dehydration, losing weight quickly, said mentally he's just not there at all. Well, obviously you're not practicing football when that happens. And for the last year or so, we've seen him miss practice because of, quote, sickness. And I thought maybe, like, does he have something chronic, right?
Like Frank Clark, like a Frank Clark situation.
The stomach issue, yeah. Like he had to figure that out. But this is different. This is something that is being triggered in his mind, with and trying to deal with it and handle that. And shout out to Julie Freimeyer, as he gave tons and tons of credit to her. She's become a rock star around Patrick Mahomes' ankle, and now Clyde Edwards-Helaire's, mental status and dealing with PTSD. What a rock star Julie Freimeyer is for the Chiefs. Seriously, pay her more. Whatever she's getting paid, it's not enough right now. I'll say that. But I want to so first of all that credit to Clyde Edwards-Helaire for doing those things. But I also want to give a shout out to a guy that we love and respect and talk and praise with the Chiefs, and a guy that gets criticized a lot by me. Okay? I don't care what anybody else does. But Travis Kelce and Kadarius Toney. Two different views in Chiefs Kingdom of those guys as players.
Yeah.
But when Clyde Edwards-Helaire talks about Kelce and Toney are the two guys that can see it quickly with him before things start going on of something's off, and they go talk to him about it.
Yeah.
It's one thing to notice with a friend like something's off, but they go and then talk to him about it. That we all need to be better at that. Certainly I do. Michaels. An hour from now, we've got a little sports or leisure. We'll play that game, give you $25 to Johnny's Tavern, getting a sports question and a leisure question right now. Let's talk with our man from KC Sports Network and the KC Laboratory Podcast. It is Matt Lane joining us here in the zone on this Thursday. Matt, what is up, brother? How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. We got football starting this week. We got the real thing. It's finally kicking off. We are in the middle of training camp. It is finally, we are out. The Olympics have been nice, but we are finally out of like the dark months of sports. So I couldn't be more excited.
You know, Matt, there's a football game tonight. There are guys who will be getting a check in training camp on a 90-man roster that will be wearing a professional jersey and pads that will be playing a game sanctioned by the NFL and nationally televised tonight. It may not be the players we know, but that is something that will be taking place tonight, Matt.
I know, and I wasn't really prepared for that earlier this week. I found out, was reminded on Monday that this is happening right now.
It's the last week without football until, February 10th.
and real actual games that count start this month too, because college starts later in this month.
Right.
Like, we are finally here. We are at the point. We have hit the tipping point.
Hey, you know what? Everybody, give yourselves a hand. We did it. We did it, everybody. We made it. We got here. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
What an accomplishment!
We did it, everybody. It's the heptathlon, and we are Jackie Joyner Kersey, all of us, and we did it. We made it, everybody. Congratulations to all of us. God bless us, everyone. We're all here together at this finish line. So congratulations, everybody. By the way, are you watching much of the Olympics? Are you enjoying that? Are you an Olympics watcher and connoisseur when it's on?
Yeah, I love the Olympics when they come on, and or any the international sports competitions like the World Cups and when they do the FIBA championship stuff. I like it when they comes around. I don't follow too much of most of the these types of sports throughout the 4-year gaps or the 2-year gaps, but when they're on, I do thoroughly like to enjoy. So it's kind of been on all morning. I also like that when they are in a different country, like now, you wake up in the morning and they're already in the middle of it. So you have something that just can be on for all day. That's good.
That's right. And it's depending on what your schedule is. It's a little different for me. I want to go home and, for instance, the women's all-around right now. The individual all-around is going on currently. I have said that I'm, not going to give updates on the air because there might be some people that don't hear the spoiler alert and then they plan on watching it tonight. It is tough in today's day and age, right, to be able to go through the day and not hear. Yesterday, even if I had been planning on not watching live Katie Ledecky's 1,500-meter race, when I got to a Heartland Men's Health, I walked in and they were all cheering and I looked at the TV and they're like, she just won gold. And I was like, thank God I wasn't planning on watching it live tonight. And then they go, I am so sorry if you were planning on watching that later. And no, I'm not. But my wife and I want to watch these things together, but it's on right in front of me. So I'm going to know the results of that. But it's also kind of cool, Matt, in that the next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, early afternoon, we don't have to wait all day till 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. Early afternoon, we're going to get the women's 100-meter final on Saturday. Today's Thursday, but the women's 100-meter final on Saturday and the men's 100-meter final on Sunday. So in the early afternoon, 1 o'clock, 1:30. So by Sunday mid-afternoon, we'll know who the fastest woman and man in the world is, which is one of the bigger events. And we don't have to sit around all day waiting for, under the lights here where we are. We watch it under the lights, but it'll be mid-afternoon, and we can go and do different things we want to after that.
Yeah, no, that part's great. And, I get the idea of some people, I'm sure, can't watch it all day during the middle of the day, and they can tune in and stuff at night if they can avoid the spoilers. But it's nice. It's just nice to wake up and then get to have, like I said, sports on all day that you want to, listen to and watch. It's one of the best parts about the men's basketball tournament when it's on. You have stuff that starts right in the middle of the day. It carries you through the whole day, even if you don't sit down and pay 100% attention. You can just have something going on the entire time. That's kind of how the Olympics are with all of especially the more obscure sports.
Yes.
And that's just a fun thing to put on in the background and just have guys and girls shooting airsoft pistols at a target for an hour and a half while you're not really sure what's going on, but sure, you're watching it.
Or the dude with no specialty glasses that's shooting with his left hand in his pocket. It's just
the best. He should have got bonus points and been given the gold just because, honestly.
What country was he from?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
I got to look it up because somebody had a great tweet that said, because of the country he's from, was like, this guy actually doesn't do it for a living. He was just called like 10 minutes ago, and they needed somebody, and he's like, I got you, and shows up and sets the world record or whatever. Turkish, yes. Like, this guy's from Turkey. He not actually competes for him. He was just called 10 minutes ago. He was in the area, and he was like, yeah, I'm from Turkey. I got you. Shows up, no specialty glasses, left hand in his pocket, wins the gold. It's just like
he was he was on vacation around.
That's right.
He was available and just kind of rolled. Like, sure, I can do this. I guess
I got this. It's in my blood. Like, are you kidding me? Matt Lane is our guest. All right, I want to talk about something you wrote about here recently, because we had a conversation yesterday on the air, because it has been a continual theme at camp of Isaiah Pacheco with the first team getting the first reps, and then getting the second reps with the first team has been Deneric Prince. With pads, no pads, whatever. I want to ask, first of all, before we get into your breakdown of Deneric Prince, I want to ask, first of all, what do you take away from that? What do you glean? What's your view and an opinion on why you think that is, and what the Chiefs may be looking for, or has he moved ahead of Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Before we get into his ability, what do you think it means for him getting the second reps with the first team after Pacheco throughout the entire camp?
He's in such a tricky spot, because I know last year he had a really strong training camp as a rookie. We saw all the highlights, all the receptions. He was climbing up the depth chart in terms of getting run with the third team, then the second team, then he was getting sprinkled in with the first team, and then the preseason games hit, and it was kind of clear that the game maybe was moving a little too fast, that he needed that redshirt year. And so this year you get the training camp, and it seems like we're right back on track. He immediately goes from, okay, he's clearly kind of the running back 3 ahead of the Keontae Ingrams, the Carson Steele, Amani Bailey, anybody else you want to insert in. And then as camp has gone on, and part of this is because Clyde availability has been a little bit up and down, but as camp's gone on, it's just kind of elevated to where he is the only other guy besides Isaiah Pacheco getting real run with the ones. He's the only other guy that's getting some reps with them. He's the first guy to come in when Isaiah Pacheco is not there or like taking a play off. So I think clearly he is ahead, or he is making this roster. I think it's, as of right now, at least, it's pretty evident that they want him to make this roster. And I wonder if he really can push Clyde for that second running back spot, as like kind of has been indicated here in training camp at this point.
So what do you think then of Deneric Prince? You did the film study, you wrote about it. I know what you think about it from reading those, but let's verbalize this. What do you think of Deneric Prince as a running back, and what he could bring to the Chiefs if he wins a job?
The best way I think you're going to look at it is from what don't they currently have. So when you have Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they're pretty confident are making the roster. What don't they have besides those two guys? Like, the first thing that jumps out is the loss of Jerick McKinnon. You're looking for someone that can catch passes and be a pass protector. And so you start looking at Deneric Prince first from that lens. And that was all the buzz last year in training camp, and we've seen some of those same things happen so far during this camp. Is he is a good receiver, right? He's a guy that goes out there. They have him run more than just screens or swing passes. They put him out there on vertical routes. They ask him to actually run some stuff, match up on linebackers, and beat them in one-on-one situations. So he's got the receiving chops. I thought the pass protection was one of the biggest things he was going to have to work on coming out of college. But then I went back and watched the preseason last year, and the first game and a half were probably kind of rough, but then you get to the end of it against the Cleveland Browns for the final preseason game, and you see the process that he has is very good. He scans the protections. He seems to know where he goes. He sorts out different blitzes and twists pretty well. So you're looking immediately at a guy that maybe could factor in on third downs, and that's kind of been the weakest area of the Pacheco-Clyde Edwards-Helaire combination, is neither are great in pass protection. It looks like Pacheco's getting better as a receiver, and they're trying to work on that in training camp this year, but he hasn't been a guy that's been more than a check-down, screen receiver out of the backfield. So Prince just on the surface kind of fills, or at least looks like he could maybe fill that gap left by Jerick McKinnon.
So you and I have had this conversation before, and I have made my feelings known on what I would like to see the Chiefs have, and I was hoping they would do it in the draft. It didn't come about in the draft, but I really want to see a guy who's close to Jerick McKinnon in 2021. That was Jerick McKinnon at the end of the season when he was the main back, when he was doing his thing against the Bills in the divisional round, the 13-second game, when he was explosive. He was setting up blocks. He was hitting the holes quickly. He was getting out in space in the pass game. He was awesome against the Bengals the next week. He just didn't get the ball in the second half for some strange reason. I really feel like, Matt, I swear, if they would have just handed the ball to Jerick McKinnon every single play in the second half against the Bengals, they win. They win that game in the AFC Championship game. He was carving up the defense. Regardless, besides the point, I have wanted that guy on this team for the Chiefs to find somebody that if they throw the ball in space, he gets to top speed, right? It doesn't look like he's having to unhitch the trailer and then go. Watching some of the clips that you put up there at KC Sports Network, I didn't remember him getting to top speed as fast as he did in those clips. And that excites me a little bit more than just, hey, he's a nice receiver out of the backfield, and he does have size-speed combination, but the acceleration to get to top speed was something that I didn't remember him having, quite frankly.
Yeah, and so from that aspect, I'm with you that Jerick McKinnon in that year, the 2021 season, was kind of like the perfect running back pairing to go with a Pacheco or to be the third guy for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and that's what the Chiefs are currently missing. I don't know if Deneric Prince has like a very good one-to-one skill set there because he's not as quick. He's not a quick, shifty guy.
Right.
It's not all about the start and stop. But what he is, he's pretty big, but then he is fast. He's fast. Everybody knows that. But it's not the Isaiah Pacheco fast where it needs a little bit of time to build up.
It's not MVS. It's not a slow burn to get up to top speed.
He accelerates to it pretty quickly, and he does so also without just being in a straight line. Like I said, he's not quick. He's not going to give you a lot of movement laterally, but what he does do is he kind of runs, and it's become like a big talking point because of Bobby Stroop, who trains Patrick Mahomes, has talked about curvilinear speed and the ability to maintain your speed while running on essentially like a semicircle path. Derek Prince does that great. So that's why he looks really good on outside zone runs. That's why he looks when he gets to go to the outside. That's why when you get him out in space and catch the ball while he's still moving, he can maintain his speed and keep accelerating very well while taking a rounded corner and just continues to pick up speed while he's changing direction. So it's a very smooth thing, and that's not exactly how Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Isaiah Pacheco move. So it gives them a little bit more, I think, dynamic mover carrying the football in the open field, which is something they don't have running back. Pacheco, great runner. He's kind of more dangerous in the tackles or in traffic than he is out in the open field. He doesn't really break a lot of tackles, make guys miss, run guys over when you have him just in the open field, whereas Prince kind of has the movement ability that you could see him forcing a few more missed tackles, turning out a few more yards when you just put him out there. So I like what his match, like the way his skill set matches with the other running backs they have on the roster, and going back and watching his flashes in preseason from last year, even though he clearly wasn't ready to be on the active roster, just watching his flashes made me feel a lot better about that.
So what about him as then a running back? I know that last year the OTAs and minicamp, and Matt Nagy, by the way, brought it up in his press conference today about Deneric Prince, and he was like, last year in the pass game, 7-on-7, we all know, what we saw from that. Well, then the pads came on. And it was different. And one of the criticisms for Deneric Prince was his inability to, whether it was read the hole or set up the defense or the patience or maybe the vision of being a running back that can do more than just, hey, we're going to throw the ball to you out of the backfield in a screen pass or a swing pass, and we also need you up to speed on pass pro. What do you think he is as an actual runner, and how much do you think you can improve from last year to this year if that was probably what the Chiefs wanted him to work the most on, along with pass protection, obviously. You got to protect Patrick Mahomes. But working on the vision, the ability to sort of set up blocks or read the blocks, what do you think of him currently as a runner, and how much do you think you can improve on that from last year and being in the practice squad and then a full year now and getting these reps with the first team here in camp?
That's the biggest thing that he had to work on to make this step, right? Because like we said, as a rookie, you're rarely going to be a great pass protector. He showed off the receiving ability, but you can't be on the roster just for a receiver. So you got to be able to do a couple things. He can catch. I think the pass protection shows promise, but then also we're now looking at a running back room that does only have Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and one of those two guys isn't exactly efficient as a runner. So you probably do want somebody else that can run the ball. And last year, Prince showed, again, in the preseason flashes, but there was so much inconsistency and some just quite simply downright poor, you said it, vision, misunderstanding of where the run needed to go. And that probably goes back to coming out of Tulsa in college, not playing against the best athletes regularly, not having the best blockers in front of you regularly. So he's trying to bounce everything to the outside. He's trying to give himself the most space to utilize that speed and acceleration that we're talking about. And it definitely led to what clearly showed in the NFL as some poor run habits. Having him follow pulling blockers on a power play, having him try to run inside zone. Last year, when we got the live game reps of the preseason, it didn't look particularly good because he was constantly kind of leaving where he was supposed to run, which looked a little cluttered or had traffic, trying to find open space. He needs to kind of improve on those things, show an understanding of how to follow the blocks, follow the progression of the play. If it leads you outside, that's great. If it doesn't, take your 4 yards where it's supposed to be, take the less yards up the middle or wherever it happens to be. That's something that we've seen running backs struggle with in the NFL time after time. And as long as you can just understand that and then wait for the big plays to come, they're there and he can hit those. I think that's what he does well right now is run outside zone. And that's something the Chiefs like to run. They really want to do it. They don't run it a ton with Isaiah Pacheco, but they've started doing so more, and his speed and physicality work on it. I think Prince is better suited for it because he actually does a good job of getting the edge. He gives them a threat to actually run outside and produce a big play. It's just he's got to fix everything in the middle so he's not always chasing these big plays to the outside because that's what he was doing last year in the preseason when he had the ball.
Yeah, my issue with the outside zone oftentimes is you got to wait for the with Edwards-Helaire and Pacheco. You're waiting for the cutback and that hole to open up there because they're not fast enough to get to the outside and turn the corner with the defenders in the NFL. And that's the part of the speed element that I wanted them to have at running back, where I think Deneric Prince can do that. Does he? And these are all things that he can do, right? He's got the ability to do, but it doesn't mean that he's going to make the squad if he's not good enough in pass protection, and he hasn't improved in some of the vision area. Do you think he makes the team from what we've seen in 2 weeks of practices, but with the information and the data we have and that he's getting those reps with the first team, do you think he makes the squad? Or is the Chiefs' third running back on a different team right now?
I think he does. I'm leaning towards it, and it all can change again. This is the same spot we were in last year with training camp. He was kind of locked in, and then we get there, and not only does he not look great in the first 2 preseason games running the ball, but he also didn't look like he was ready for the kick return opportunities, which he had been very impressive in. So as long as the game speed has kind of caught up for him, then I think he makes this. Any player coming to the NFL is going to have some growth to make, and him being a guy coming from a smaller school where he was clearly a better athlete than a lot of guys around him, he had some bad habits and to be fixed. I think we will see that he's gotten better. Now, is he going to come out there and be Le'Veon Bell in terms of patience and vision? No. But can he be good enough that he can come in, they can give him a series here and there because they will trust him not to lose a yard because he's trying to bounce outside? Yeah, I think we'll get there. And then, like I said, I actually liked his process as a pass protector a lot more than I thought I was going into it. He seemed to understand how it goes about. I've seen him this year in training camp get blown up a few times, not necessarily setting the best base, not coming into contact as square as you want. But again, it's all about the process at this point in time. You can work on the physicality of it. You can work on how to set your feet as long as you know where to be. And that's something that we unfortunately have seen Pacheco struggle with. Despite being very physical and a capable blocker, he hasn't always figured out where the right spot to be is all the time, when to chip the right guy. And so I think Prince showing that so well as a rookie might give him a little bit of a heads up over a Keontae Ingram and other rookies like Carson Steele or Amani Bailey on making that final third running back spot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I have an excitement about what he can be for this team if he improves on some of those deficiencies that were there a year ago. Just another element to this offense, which will help more speed to the offense that they didn't have last year at the running back position, to go along with the speed that they have added at the wide receiver position. It seems like, 2 years ago when Brett Veach rebuilt the defense, it was like, youth, speed, and tackling. Those were going to be emphasis for the defense, revamping it. And this offseason has been about integrating more speed into the offense with Hollywood and Xavier. And if they're giving every opportunity for Deneric Prince to make the squad, that would also make sense. Matt Lane, KCSN, the KC Sports Network, and the KC Laboratory Podcast. Matt, as always, you're the man, brother. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the football. We'll talk in a couple of weeks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Absolutely. You too. There's Matt Lane. Again, go check it out at KC Sports Network. Great stuff. He's got the video clips up there to talk about, what he's breaking down in the pros and the cons of Deneric Prince. But just one of the storylines that's been going on at camp is every day when people have their observations about training camp, it's first-team reps at running back, Isaiah Pacheco, second reps with the first team, Deneric Prince. Second team reps, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And then whether that's followed by Imani Bailey or Keontae Ingram or Carson Steele or whoever, it's been Pacheco and Prince with the first team. And I hope it's more than just we're putting him in there to see what we have, and we're going to give him a couple 3 weeks, and if he's not showing that he's good enough, then we'll find somebody else. I hope that he's shown enough in an improvement of the vision that he's getting this opportunity because that's how they feel. That's what they feel he'll be, because his element of speed is something they don't have with Pacheco and Edwards-Helaire. So, and you can see that in some of the clips. Small sample size clips, right? It was just preseason last year, but you see what made him enticing for the Chiefs last offseason. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, and we'll talk about our flag football team in the NFL 4 years from now. We'll draft our flag football team and see what we end up coming up with for the Olympics 4 years from now. We're all in the Olympic spirit. We'll do that on the other side of the break. More Zone next. All right, continuing right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sports or Leisure coming up at 1 o'clock. Women's all around going on right now. Not going to give updates on it because people may want to watch it tonight. Maybe they're able to not know what's happening if they stay off social media or can't watch it right now. So won't give updates to what's going on. But it's intense. And it's tight.
Yeah, I heard some screaming from this.
Was it a good scream or a bad scream?
Well, I can't give that away.
That's a good point. That's a great point. It's a really good
I
point.
heard screaming.
Okay.
Loud noises.
Loud noises!
I don't know what we're yelling about.
I think you hit somebody with a trident. You might want to lay low for a couple of days.
You get a grenade, Rick.
All right, so how are we going to figure out who goes first, second, third in this draft for the flag football team? Current NFL players. We can't use NFL players of the past. Deion Sanders isn't a part of this team.
Dang
right?
it. Michael Vick.
Randy Moss is not on this team, okay? That's not Jerry Rice is not a part of this team.
Michael Vick to Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson is going undefeated.
So we can't use all-time players.
I was going to do draft order should be based on the American Century Golf thing we did.
So in reverse order. So you get the first pick.
Yes.
Oh, so
then
I get
second.
I
Sterling
won.
gets third.
I won, so I go first.
So you get third pick.
No. Yeah, I get first.
Yeah.
I was agreeing with you, Jason.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a great point of reverse order of American
So I'm
Century.
getting penalized for winning.
That's
fine.
how it
you
works.
know what? That's fair because I win so much that I need to let you guys have an opportunity. I get it. I understand. But in the lottery system, wow, we do. Wow, Sterling, the lottery system.
I don't care if I go first, second, or third, to be honest with you.
I'll go third. Fine.
I honestly do not.
You know what? I
do
want
not care.
third.
I've got my strategy for all three spots picking.
I got
okay?
mine too here at the first pick.
Okay.
I have no strategy. I shoot from the hip.
Very good. You're the guy from Turkey that won the gold with no specialized glasses and his left hand in his pocket with the shooting.
Are we going offense, defense? Are we going just
draft.
whoever? Okay.
Whatever.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay. Dylan, you go first.
Dylan, first pick.
I'll take Patrick Mahomes, quarterback.
Okay. Wow.
Kansas
Okay.
City Chiefs.
All right. I'll go Lamar.
Well, that was the easy
That would have been
one.
my first pick anyway.
Well, then I could
Sterling?
win on quarterback because
That was my strategy. If I had the third pick, I wasn't going to take quarterback to the end.
Yeah, I see now.
If I had the third pick, I was going to get the best athletes, and then at the end, I can pick whatever quarterback I want because
I'm
going
going
to
to go Tyreek Hill.
Damn it. I can't believe you went Tyreek Hill as the first non-quarterback. This is weird.
And I got to go again.
Yep.
And I will go Justin Jefferson.
Jefferson, JJ. That pick is dynamite. Then I will go. Ooh, I'm gonna do something a little bit different here. Then I'm gonna go Micah Parsons with my pick.
He wasn't even my board.
Wasn't on your board? Are you kidding me?
It's not real football.
I know that.
I want.
You need somebody to rush the passer, and you also need somebody to be able to defend as well.
We have different strategies.
So you're not going to have anybody rush after the quarterback.
I think
that's
that
also fast enough.
I could have Tyreek Hill rush after the quarterback if I wanted to.
He's on your offense. He doesn't count.
He can play both.
No, he doesn't play both. We're
can
doing
play both.
specific offense, specific defense. I got Micah Parsons. Dylan, your pick. You got two, Dylan.
Bad pick.
Let's see. Boy, the receivers are thin now here.
Only
There's
two
only
have
two
been
taken.
taken.
I know. I'm saying though, as far as like
Wow.
speed.
Two
guys.
receivers are taken. Now there's nobody left.
Give me Jalen Waddle.
Waddle, that's a good one. Now you get another pick.
And
You got two of them, Dylan.
Sauce Gardner.
Waddle and Sauce. All
Sauce
right.
was my first defensive
Oh, was
player
it?
to
Oh,
take.
cool.
Yeah,
Good for
it's
you.
Brutal.
Good for you. Congratulations on that one. Your pick. Or no, it's my pick, right?
Yeah, come on.
All right, so my pick, I will go with. I am going to take Bijan Robinson.
He was the first running back I wanted. Good call. It's a good pick.
Bijan Robinson for
See,
me.
I can give you a good pick when you actually make a good pick. I'll give you a good one.
I got the best defensive player out there.
Not for fantasy,
Micah
no,
Parsons.
not for flag football. Bijan Robinson's a great pick. That was the number one choice.
No, for flag football, I got the best defensive player out there. But,
I'm
but
going
go ahead.
between two guys.
Good for you. Good thing because you got two picks back to back.
Well,
so
I don't want to pick.
You could take them both, actually. You've got that ability.
You know what? I'm going to.
Good.
I'm going Devon Achane.
I like that one. That was my other running back.
We get 5 offensive players, right, including quarterback?
Uh-huh. Well, you get 4 offensive players with quarterback. So 5 total.
Yeah, but
4 offensive players, 1 quarterback.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh.
So you've got 2 more offensive players to go.
And then you get 6 defenders?
5 defenders.
Oh, okay.
I'm intrigued. I don't know the best place. I think
you can.
No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna go. I'll go Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward. Okay. Denzel Ward. Then I will go ahead and take Jamar Chase as my who? I'll take Jamar Chase as my skill position player along with Bijan Robinson. So I've got Lamar, Bijan, and Jamar Chase. Dylan, you got 2. You've got a quarterback, a receiver, and a cornerback.
Yes. Give me Fred Warner.
That's a good one.
Okay.
And I guess Amon-Ra St. Brown feels like the best receiver.
Oh, I like that one.
Nice. It's a good one.
I like Amon-Ra. That's a good pick. Then I am going to go on defense. I am going to take Reek Woolen. 6'4", runs a 4.26.
Nice.
I'm going to take Reek Woolen as my other defender. 2 of my 4 defenders.
You have 5 defenders. Now you're lying to me.
2 of my 5. That's what I meant. 2 of my 5 defenders. You've got 2 coming your way, Sterling.
You talked about who am I going to get to rush the passer?
Yeah.
L'Jarius Sneed.
Oh, I like it. Yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Now you got 1 more.
L'Jarius Sneed. And since tackling doesn't matter.
It does not.
Tackling does not make a difference. Tyrann Mathieu.
He's not fast enough. I'll give you Tyrann Mathieu. That's perfectly fine.
No, but he
doesn't have
he
near
reads.
enough speed.
Hey, he's a great defender. Just can't tackle. Not physical.
Great.
Give me Tyrann Mathieu. Chess piece.
Congratulations. All right, so then go ahead and give me Travis Kelce as my center. You need somebody to snap the ball and then go out for routes. So I got a guy who's my center and now is 6'5", end zone target. So give me Travis Kelce. All right, it is Dylan for 2.
Yeah, the good thing with my quarterback is we know he doesn't. The snap is not really that big of a deal, so I can play center for my team and just.
That's true.
As long as I get it up.
But you have to go out for a route, though. The center's an eligible receiver.
Nah, I'll just be the check down.
Amon-Ra St. Brown could snap the rock to him.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying the center is also I'm just talking about I got a guy who doesn't have to be a speed merchant on the outside, snap the ball, work the middle, and be a 6'5" guy that can, be an end zone target.
That's a good idea. Then I'll take Kittle.
Kittle, okay.
In that same role.
Kittle for you.
And I have 1 more, right?
And you got 1 more pick there. You need
Give
1
me
more
Nick
offensive
Bosa
player.
to rush the passer.
Nick Bosa. So you got Sauce, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, 2 defensive guys coming your way. I've got on offense Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, or Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, Travis Kelce. On defense, I've got Micah Parsons, Reek Woolen, and I'm going to go with Pat Surtain.
That's a good
on
one.
Defense. So I got Pat Surtain on defense along with Micah Parsons and Reek Woolen. Now Sterling for 2.
Give me Myles Garrett.
Okay.
Myles Garrett's going to be my guy.
I thought you already had
Sneed to do that.
Sneed to do
yeah,
that,
but
which
then
that's
Myles
fine.
Garrett's also athletic as all bleep.
I know, not as athletic as Micah Parsons, but that's fine.
You know what? If you
totally fine, though.
If you told me who am I more scared of, it's Myles Garrett.
In flag football, it's Micah Parsons.
It's Myles Garrett.
It's Micah Parsons.
That dude.
Micah Parsons was the first defensive player they should take in the Dream Team flag football.
You're wrong. Okay, so I need 1 more offensive player outside of quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I like your method of center going out for pass.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that, but I feel like Justin Jefferson.
We need
can
2
be,
more offensive players besides quarterback because you just have Justin Jefferson and Devon Achane, right?
and Tyreek Hill.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry,
Yeah.
I put Tyreek in the offensive guy in the quarterback position because that was my top
'Cause he's
thing.
so good.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, yep.
Well, I'm between 2 guys. I'm between an RB and a tight end.
Well, you don't have to have an RB. You don't have to have a tight end.
2 picks, I think. No.
Yeah.
I already picked Myles Garrett.
He took Myles Garrett, so
Oh,
he's got
that's right.
1 pick left here. You don't have to have a tight end or a running back. You don't have to do that. You can have 4 guys that are lined up on the line of scrimmage, and your quarterback. It's however you want to do it.
Okay, what I'm going to do is go defense and go back. So I have Myles Garrett, Tyrann Mathieu, L'Jarius Sneed, Denzel Ward. I'm going to actually go with a guy who I don't really like, but I think for flag football he makes a lot of sense, and that is Deron Bland. Deron Bland had how many pick sixes last year? I mean that,
and he's got the size.
He's got this like Deron Bland. I don't think he's perfect for flag football. So I'm going Bland.
All right, so I've got Travis Kelce, Jamar Chase, and Bijan Robinson. And I need an offensive guy here. So go ahead and give me. You know what? I'm going to double up on my shifty guys who can be received. Give me McCaffrey. Give me Christian McCaffrey.
That was the other question. I was like, you go 2 RBs.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
you just got 4 skill position players out there and a quarterback. So I'm going McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, and Travis Kelce are my guys on offense. So my offense is done. Dylan, you got 2 coming your way.
Yeah, and you just stole mine. Give me one
Sorry.
second. No, it's a good pick.
Always taking the guy. It's like, oh, of course, the guy took.
You could have taken him earlier.
That was the one guy.
You could have taken him
wanted.
earlier if you wanted to,
That
but
was the one guy I wanted. There was one guy that I thought maybe would be there on the way back.
That's why you don't sit there. When you got a guy, you trade up.
That's right. Trade up to
Don't
get him.
wait.
I would have traded. I would have traded back. I would have because I had a couple guys I would have been fine. I would have traded back with you for an extra pick to give me a sub. I get a substitute.
I mean, I might as well be the 49ers here, but give me Debo because I can hand it off to him.
Debo.
All right.
Yep.
Good one.
Debo for D. Mike. All right, and I'm up. I'm going to take Devon Witherspoon then. So I'm going to take another guy with great size, long arms, and runs like a 4.25. So
shocking guy that was not taken that I really wanted to. Didn't find a way to get him on there was Christian Gonzalez, cornerback for Patriots. I liked him, but couldn't find a way. I like your center method, and for that reason, I'm going T.J. Hawkinson.
Interesting. Okay.
I like T.J. Hawkinson as my center combo. It was between him, Laporta, and A.J. Brown. But I think Hawkinson moves the needle a little more for me. I think he's such a good weapon there.
Honestly, like since you guys have both already gone that route of who your center is, my first center is Kelce. My second center would have been Kyle Pitts for Atlanta.
Yeah,
that crazy athleticism
I don't know, man.
and that height. That crazy.
We got to see it again.
It's flag football.
I know. Can he catch can he catch the rock or get open? I don't know if he can get
open. You
open.
don't have to worry about pads and a helmet to do that.
Give me Josh Allen as my quarterback then. To finish it off.
Quarterback is Josh
Allen.
Okay. And then my final pick has to be a defender, and then I will go. You know what? I'm going to go Kyle Hamilton from the Ravens.
Nice.
That's my final.
It's a good one.
Defender. Kyle Hamilton, safety, field roamer. So my defense consists of cornerbacks, Woolen, Surtain, and Witherspoon. I went. Apparently, I like the Seahawks secondary outside of Surtain. I got Micah Parsons rushing the passer because I can also have him cover the center if I need to with Travis Kelce. And then I got Kyle Hamilton just roaming the field, just trying to figure some things out. All right, Dylan, you have your last one, right?
Is it 2? I think I need 2.
Yeah, you got
defenders.
2. Yep, you got 2.
So I'll go Trent McDuffie and.
But he wouldn't have 2 left. He would just be 1 left.
Well, he's got Sauce Gardner, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa. Right?
Because two would start the next one around. 2, like if you pick 2, it'd start
Who's
the next.
all on your team? Because I got you with Mahomes, Waddle, Kittle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Debo.
Yep.
And then I've got you with Sauce Gardner, Fred Warner, and Nick Bosa.
Yep. So I need 2 defenders. Maybe we missed one or something in the.
Because
I'm gonna go Antoine Winfield Jr. as the second defender with Trent McDuffie.
Okay, McDuffie and Winfield.
Yep. Because I needed a corner and a safety.
All right, so there we go. There are our teams. Sorry guys, I'm winning. I'm sorry. It's just like I got the
your
team.
Your team's not winning. Josh Allen, Devon Achane, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and T.J. Hawkinson on offense. Denzel Ward, Deron Bland, L'Jarius Sneed, Tyrann Mathieu, and Myles Garrett defensively. I'm sorry, you're screwed, pal.
I mean, I'm toasting Mathieu and Ward. Like Tyrann Mathieu's not athletic enough to.
Denzel Ward is ridiculously talented. You're wrong there.
That's awesome, man. That's cool. I'm still,
JJ and Hill have the 2 best wide receivers.
Yeah, your wide receivers are studs. I wouldn't have gone Josh Allen, but
who would you have gone third then?
Honestly, I might have gone Kyler Murray. Like honestly,
Stroud.
Stroud doesn't run enough though.
Stroud doesn't run enough. Like Josh Allen to me runs enough, but the big part about Josh Allen is that he breaks tackles.
Yeah,
and the physical running. Like, I might have gone Kyler Murray because
I thought Allen was clear-cut 3.
Yeah.
Justin Fields. We finally found a way for
There it
Justin
is.
Fields.
He's got it. There it is. He can kick return on this, too.
Luis Rees-Zammit. Yeah.
Why didn't I go
Louis
Rees-Zammit?
Rees-Zammit.
Why didn't I go Rees-Zammit?
Nico Remigio.
He does not need to pass protect. I actually wrote down as, I actually wrote down Xavier Worthy. Like, in a couple of years, we might be wondering about Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Like, if he's running a 4.2, although the length of the field's only 50 yards.
Yeah.
So, but
you
again.
You need quick burst more than. But he's
he's
quick
got
burst.
that, too. It's just,
we should do. What is the most average team we could come up with that would still beat the rest of the country?
That is true. I think Rees-Zammit might be on it. I don't know.
Rees-Zammit might be on it.
They've taken one of Great Britain's best players.
It's like
come on. Well, he would play for Great Britain.
It's like wide receiver
so
1.
He wouldn't play for the United States. He'd play for Great Britain. Never mind.
We'll go with Gabe Davis as wide receiver 1.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you would still be able
quarterback.
to do that.
Give us Jacoby Brissett.
We'll
go with Jacoby Brissett.
MVS is on this team.
Well, no, I said win still.
Kadarius Toney is on the team.
Honestly, Toney might finally find
a role.
Might
not be terrible. Like, if you would have drafted this team in August of last year, Toney might have been one of the 12 players that were drafted offensively non-quarterbacks. But the star has fallen for the Joker. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, wrap up this hour. We got Sports or Leisure coming up at 1 o'clock. More Zone right after this.
Visit. even show us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not allowed to show you guys the text line, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it.
It was totally
But-
team
but
stew.
Everybody on the text line is just like, "Oh my God, Jason's team! I can't believe you guys let him draft all those players. He will destroy you guys."
It was
will
totally
you guys,
teams.
Will you
Team
guys
Sterling.
even score a point? I'm not sure you guys will get a first down at the 50. Well, that would be the 25 since it's a 50-yard field. I'm not sure you'll get past the 25. His team is so amazing. Oh, my goodness. You should just give him money now. That was an odd one. I don't know what the money is for, but
When do I get my present for winning the American Century Championship? By, like, a lot.
no, it's not a present. It's just you didn't have to pay for lunch.
Yeah,
The
when
loser.
do I get my lunch?
That's Dylan.
Dylan, when do I get my lunch?
After I pay up lunch for the Chiefs.
This is BS.
You know what?
Winning on
How
this
about
show
this?
means nothing, apparently.
How about this? I appreciate you guys so much. You and Dylan and Mick. And I feel bad about not paying up on the bet yet because we've had to have everybody together, plan ahead. Right?
I'm here
all of those
every
things.
single day from 10 to 2.
You weren't here last Friday. Quite literally, you and Mick were not here last Friday. But that's fine.
Fair.
Or last Wednesday. Or last Monday.
I was here last Monday.
Mick was not.
Okay, that's his fault.
That's a whole week. So you
Blame
can't say,
Mikolas.
So you can't say like you're here all the time. Here's what I'm going to do. I am not here tomorrow, okay, on the show. You guys are doing the show. But I'm still...
No, I know what you're going to say. And
here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you guys Zarda barbecue tomorrow.
No, I already know
That's what
they're
I'm gonna
bringing
do.
Zarda in.
And I'm going to pay up my bet. That's what I'm going to do. I feel like I'm going to go over the top than
Dylan.
let me just get some gift cards.
Don't
I'm gonna
believe
go
this
over
man.
the top. I'm going to get you guys Zarda barbecue tomorrow
I love
to
it.
cater, to bring it in for you guys, and I'm not even going to be here for that.
Thank you, Zarda and sales team.
What? What are you talking about? Because that was my idea.
It ain't JA over here.
No, that was my idea.
It's also my idea. You brought this up, and it reminded me. I'm going to pay off my bet, Sterling, with Mod Pizza.
Oh, that's a
we're
great
not.
one. I love Mod Pizza. We should totally do that.
Yep.
We already had. Everyone
should pay
listening,
off-
don't listen to these people. We already have these things planned, and they're not from them. Okay?
What are you talking about? No, that's.
I am so,
So-
hungry. All I'm eating back there are Greek nuts. And why is your face like that?
I didn't know there were people back there from Greece. So we have our flag football team that we have drafted. Just going to go through the teams real quick, and then we got Sports or Leisure coming up at 1 o'clock.
Fact.
My team consists of Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Christian McCaffrey, and my center, and then obviously centers are eligible, is Kelsey. Snap the football. He's going to get open and work the middle of the field, and he's going to be my 6'5" target in the end zone, so I'm good with that. My defense is Micah Parsons, Reek Woolen, Pat Surtain, Devin Witherspoon, and Kyle Hamilton. My God, I am stacked on stacked on stacked. Call me Sidney Sweeney. You're up now, Sterling. Your team consists of Josh Allen as your quarterback, right?
Call me Carlton because she's a bad mamma jamma. Or the Commodores. She's built, she's stacked because Josh Allen, Devon Achane, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill,
Nice.
TJ Hawkinson.
Uh-huh.
Defense, Denzel Ward, Deron Bland, the pick six master himself.
Okay.
Legarius Sneed, what's he going to do? You don't know. Tyrann Mathieu, the chess piece back there. Don't have to worry about tackling. No business decisions. And then Myles Garrett.
It's an okay team. Dylan's team, though, I think is better than yours. He's got Mahomes, he's got Waddle, he's got Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Debo, and Kittle. And on defense, he's got a little sauce for you, Gardner. He's got Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, and then he's got McDuffie and Antoine Winfield Jr.
That team's buns.
I think the teams go me, then Dylan,
Yep.
then yours.
You said the same thing with American Century Championship, and what happened there?
No, I hated my team then. Hated it. Sports or Leisure next. 913-381-0810, the phone number to play some sports or leisure. $25 to Johnny's Tavern, Kansas City's #1 sports bar. 10 locations, Kansas City area, Lawrence and Topeka. You know what? Fine, whatever. I'll say it. The country's #1 sports bar. That's fine. I'm not afraid to say it, Sterling. But Johnny's Tavern, $25 to Johnny's Tavern is yours. If you get a sports question and a leisure question right, you win. If you get either of them wrong, you do not win. Sorry in advance. But
we appreciate you playing.
Absolutely, yes. We love it. You're a part of the show, in some way, shape, or form. You're a part of the show. You're a part of the group. If we razz on you a little bit, hey, that's, Sterling does it. I do it. Dylan, everybody that's part of the show gets razzed on from time to time. You're just simply amongst groups, your group of friends.
That's how you know your friends.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't rip on someone you don't like. That's just mean.
Yeah, that's just being an AH. That men show love by doing that. Like, that I really like you as a friend if I constantly make fun of you.
Well, you love me.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
It's what dudes do.
It's like third graders showing that they like, a girl at recess. Keep pushing her down. I hate him. He's so mean. Well, actually, it's because he likes you. I don't know. I'm not sure. But if you get one wrong, the question is out there available for someone to call in and request if they know the answer to it or they've Googled it. Who knows? We don't give out the right answer until it's answered correctly or we have simply run out of time to play. That's how you play sports or leisure. The number is 913-381-0810 to call up. First in, first on. Load them up and try to get as many winners as we can over the next couple of segments. Let's go through the categories on sports or leisure. On the sports side, we have, in honor of the trade deadline passing on Tuesday, we have the category of Royals trades. So we have a number of questions in Royals trades and their history. We also have the category of the Chiefs training camp stars, training camp darlings. We have that category.
Wonder who's on that one.
Not Bobby Scipio.
I was going to say Bobby Scipio. Yeah.
It was. He was answered last week. And a new category this week. I don't know if you ever heard of this one, Stan. It's called Olympics. We have a category about the Olympics because...
The Greek thing?
You're aware.
Okay.
It is the Greek thing. And we actually, these questions are only about the first ever Olympics. I need you to tell me who the winners were in each individual event of the first
Socrates.
ever Olympics. Is it Pluto? I think it was Pluto. But yeah, Olympics. So, Royals trades, Chiefs training camp darlings, and Olympics. That's the sports side categories. What about on the leisure side?
Well, we have one-hit wonders. I loaded that one back up.
All right.
One-hit wonders have been a fun one, so I made these ones a little harder. Riddles, still have a couple riddles left. And the new one, catchphrases.
Okay.
I'll say a catchphrase, and you have to either tell me who said it or the show/movie where it came from. Most of them, though, will be the person that said catchphrase.
Said catchphrase, okay.
Yeah.
It's catchphrases.
From any era.
Yep.
Any era. We could be going back to Casablanca era even, potentially.
What about the first ever Olympic era?
Not that far back.
Okay.
I didn't go there.
All right, so there's the categories on leisure. Dylan, what are the categories for you?
They are none.
Okay, very good. Nuns. We're going to talk about famous nuns.
I'll take nuns for 1,000.
He went the religious route. Typically, we don't do that, but I appreciate Dylan branching off here. So we've got the sports categories, the leisure categories, and an extra category just simply about famous nuns.
And money and politics are next.
That's right.
Yeah.
Done. All right, 913-381-0810. I'm ready to go. Sterling, are you ready to play?
I am very ready to play.
Dylan, how you feeling? Fanboy? 2 thumbs up today. Oh, my gosh.
And a smile.
2 thumbs up and a smile.
Great smile, that
Hasn't
guy.
been broken yet, so,
Big day.
Yeah.
He's an intern. He doesn't know about life.
Know.
It's going to knock you down. That's how winning is done. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how many times you get back up. That's how winning is done. Right, fanboy? You ready to go? Right? It's just same thing as sports or leisure. It's not about how many times you get a question wrong. It's about how many times you then call back in the next week and then get it right.
Or call back in with a different name.
That's not allowed. Fanboy's a great call screener. He's going to know the voice. He knows the voice. He's got voice recognition software back there as well. All right, 913-381-0810. Let's go to Avery leading us off here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Avery, what side would you like to start with?
One more, boys.
What's
I'll
up,
do,
brother?
Trades.
All right, Royals trades. Need to find the toughest one. Toughest one for Avery. Let's see. Toughest one for Avery. All right. I'm going to go a tough one that isn't like back in the 70s, okay? Is that all right with you? Or do you want the one from the 70s, 80s?
Nah, I appreciate it. I was born in 86.
Oh, you're fine. So this one's from 83. So here we go. No. Who was traded with Zach Greinke to the Brewers?
Yuniesky Betancourt.
Okay, so we're going to ask you the one from the 70s. Okay, this player.
I miss Uni.
I miss Uni when you're gone, too. So thank you. That's very kind of you.
Both of them are just one knee.
Both.
Left or right? Okay, both.
Both. Leisure side with Sterling Avery.
Let's do one-hit wonders.
All right, one-hit wonders. We'll do Brandy. You're a fine girl.
Oh, Looking Glass.
Wow, yes, that was quick, too.
I thought you were going to give him the toughest one.
That wasn't the toughest one, but it's before his time.
I've done that karaoke several times.
It's a great song, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yacht rock.
You gave him his go-to karaoke. Like, what are the odds
What
of
are the
that?
odds of that, yeah. Okay, Avery, you got to sing us a line from that song. Come on now.
Come on. Go ahead.
She first did something and she sees his raging glory. It's like, oh, what do you, what do you think
interesting.
that was?
I don't know. That's his gold medal.
Yeah, oh,
Very, very excited about his gold medal, Raging Glory, right there. So, Avery, we'll put you on hold. Congratulations, $25. Johnny's Tavern is yours. Thank you for playing, brother.
Super duper.
How did I pick his karaoke song on a one-hit wonder?
Dude, it's like a Slumdog Millionaire. That dude wasn't smart. He just happened to get every single question that was something of a life experience that he knew. I mean, sometimes you get pitched to. You know what? Pedro Serrano killed fastballs. Somebody threw him a fastball, it was a home run. Sometimes you get some curveballs. You never know, right? Slumdog Millionaire, he wasn't the smartest man. But every single question, boom, life experience. He remembered a core memory. It's a great movie, by the way. It's really cool.
It's a good book.
You got that from work in Essex County, page 96? Yeah, I read that too. Let's go to Charles next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Charles, sports or leisure? What side would you like to start with, sir?
Leisure, let's do the catchphrase.
All right, let's do catchphrases. We'll go with "Ay caramba." Who said "Ay caramba" or "Eat my shorts"?
Oh, come on. Now, I mean, come on.
Bart Simpson.
That is
Come on,
Bart
I mean,
Simpson.
The Icaramba was a level of difficulty.
Yeah, "Eat my shorts" is too easy.
Eat My
probably.
Shorts was asking Simone Biles to do a cartwheel. That was the level of difficulty. If Simone Biles can complete this one cartwheel,
Jason, I'm a nice
she
guy.
will win
I
gold.
give help.
And she did it, everybody. She did it. She completed a cartwheel. Simone Biles, the GOAT gymnast, just finished off a perfect cartwheel.
Hey, I'm a nice guy, Jason. I like winners.
That wasn't my karaoke song.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. All right, on to the sports side. We've got Royals trades, Chiefs training camp darlings, and Olympics.
Let's try Olympics.
All right, I appreciate that. Since you chose Olympics, we'll go with the easier one on the board. Which male athlete has the most total medals at the Summer Olympics?
This year's Olympics?
Ever. The most total Olympics won at any Summer Olympics combined in their career, not just one particular Olympics.
Most total medals won in their career.
Most decorated Olympic athlete in Olympics history.
Wasn't it Barry Bonds where it was like, if you don't know the answer, just guess this answer, and you're probably going to be right?
Yeah. Barry Bonds is not the answer, though.
No.
so-
I'm saying, though, this falls into... I feel like that
Are
was a-
butterflies involved?
Well, yes, they are, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps is correct. He is the most decorated Olympian of all time.
I think I gave him a too easy.
No, you're fine. You're good. No, well, the thing is, I gave him the easier one on the board because he was the first one to ask for Olympics. 28 medals for Michael Phelps.
23 gold.
28 medals. He's like Junebug, and I'm going to get you, sucker. How does he go pee? How does he go to the bathroom? He's got all these medals around his neck. Is that a winner, right? That's a winner?
winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Eat My Shorts and Michael Phelps. We will put you on hold. Charles, get your information. Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Go Bobby Witt and go Royals and super duper.
Love it. Here we go.
Man of the people.
Great dismount.
Yeah. I mean, and
Olympic
it's
season?
A perfect description. That's right. Dismount, landed the dismount. Does Bobby Witt win gold in all-around men's gymnastics?
Well, France took the sport that he plays out of the Olympics because they stink at it, so we can't find out.
So stupid, man. We're not going to have baseball.
As I said,
Or softball.
We need to make them field a team, and then that's the first game when the Olympics are here.
Right.
Is France and the United States baseball.
Great.
That's the most French thing ever.
So dumb. We're not going to have baseball or softball because we're not good at it. Oh, yeah? Come on to L.A. We're going to put in football, punks.
Oh, yeah.
We're adding football now. All right? We're just giving ourselves an extra gold medal.
Congrats,
just
Napoleon.
for S's and G's.
They're all Napoleons over there.
Yeah. You crepes. Get it.
I do like crepes, though.
I do, too. All right, let's go to Cody next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Cody, sports or leisure? What side do you want to start with?
Sports.
All right, we got Royals trades, Chiefs training camp darlings, and Olympics.
I'll do Olympics.
Olympics, all right. The same man holds the Olympic records, not necessarily the world record, but the Olympic record for the 100 and 200. Who is it? The same man holds the Olympic record.
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt is correct. Bolt, not the world record holder in either of them anymore, but still the Olympic record for the 100 and 200 meter is Usain Bolt. We'll see if Noah Lyles can do something about that on Sunday. You know, that would be awesome. We'll see. On to leisure with Sterling.
We have one-hit wonders, riddles, and catchphrases.
Do one-hit wonders.
All right, one-hit wonders. We'll go with American Pie. Bye-bye, Miss
the
American
movie?
Pie. I drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Was it?
Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye.
Oh.
Saying this was the
Interesting.
day that I die.
You know what? The month that always made me shiver was February with every paper.
Don McLean.
As Don
Delivered.
McLean, yes.
Bad news on the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step.
Congratulations.
I can't remember
that
if I
is
cried
a winner. Jason
when I
did
read
keep
about
singing,
the
so I'm
Widow
going to
Bride.
keep talking over him.
But something-
You can just move his mic down there, Dylan.
The day the music
you are
died.
a winner.
The day the music died. Remember, we had to explain that to you the other day there, Sterling. Cody, we'll put you on hold. Congratulations. Well done.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Remember, we had to explain the day the music died, Mick and I did just yesterday? Is that what made you come up with the Don McLean? Is that song that we spoken word to you?
No, but I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. All right, on to Andrew next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Andrew, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with?
Oh, let's try catchphrase.
Ooh, we'll go to catchphrases. Got one for you. Deal or no deal?
Is that really his catchphrase?
Howie Mandel.
That is Howie Mandel, baby. Yeah, that's his catchphrase.
I thought it was, did you use hand sanitizer?
Good one.
That's what I thought his catchphrase
It's a good pull.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Howie Mandel, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, on to the sports side. We've got Royals trades, we've got Chiefs training camp darlings, and we have Olympics.
I mean, is that Bobby Scipio question still there?
No, it's-
But,
Bobby is gone. Bobby Scipio is gone.
let's go with Olympics.
Olympics, okay. Name either of the Americans to win a medal, doesn't have to be gold, but to win a medal in 4 straight Olympic Games. Name either of the Americans. One very famous, the other one not so much. But either of the Americans to win a medal in 4 straight Olympics. one in athletics, which is what the Olympics calls track and field, by the way. So they have to be all, uppity about it.
You said one's famous and one's not?
Yeah. One won a medal in 4 straight Olympics in discus. That's not the one that's famous.
Oh, okay.
That's not the one that's famous. I think that was back in like the 50s.
Okay.
It's a much more famous American athlete.
It's a Barry Bonds type of deal.
Not necessarily. I mean, for track and field, sort of, especially on the track side.
It is track and field, though.
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
One of the GOATs.
It's American, you said, right?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't want him singing the national anthem. But I will take him long jumping and running and doing whatever else.
Man. Singing the national anthem.
Mm-hmm. He can jump for me. He can run for me. He can relay for me. I don't need him singing for me.
Yeah.
If you don't think of this one, you're going to get off the phone and go, uh-oh.
Yeah, probably.
Want to throw it hard?
Michael Johnson.
It is not. It is not. Great sprinter, but it is not that or Bobby. We would have accepted Bobby Scipio, Andrew. Damn it. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it. 913-381-0810. That question is out there available if you know the answer to it. So either the person we were giving hints for, or if you know the person that medaled in 4 straight Olympic Games by throwing the discus.
That'd be more.
Well, if you
more
could do that, then
yeah.
you know your Olympics.
We might not even make you do leisure.
You are an Olympian in Olympic trivia.
Yeah.
That's what you are. Let's go to Matt next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Matt, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with? Matt? Matty.
Oh, sorry.
No,
you
you're
got
good.
me?
Yeah, I got you now. Matt, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with, bud?
I'll try that Olympic one you just had.
Yeah, name either of the Americans to win a medal in 4 straight games.
So I think Michael Phelps did this, but it sounds like you're looking for a track athlete. So I will go with Carl Lewis.
Carl Lewis is correct. I don't think Michael Phelps had 4 straight. I think he had 3 straight Olympic Games. But I'll go and look to make sure.
I'll take your word for it.
But you got Carl Lewis, so you got it right anyway. So I only wanted you to name one. I was looking it up, and I only saw 2 in American history with 4. The other one is Al Order. 4 straight Olympic medals, 4 straight Olympics winning a medal in discus. In the
that was
50s.
obvious.
Yes, Al
Big
Order.
discus guy.
That's right. Really? On to leisure side with Sterling, and I'm going to check up on that Michael Phelps one.
We got one-hit wonders. We have riddles, and we have catchphrases.
Let's go catchphrases, please.
All right, catchphrases. What you talking about, Willis?
Is it Webster?
Oh, you want the actual name of the person?
It can be.
Okay.
But it's not.
Is it,
it's
like,
not.
from the,
it's not Webster. It's.
Is it like Arnold Jackson?
Yes, correct.
Well done.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice
Easy.
job. Done and done.
And
Is that
Gary,
another winner?
Gary Coleman, yeah.
Is that another winner?
Yes, it is.
You know, Gary Coleman was in the Royals clubhouse one day because he was really good friends with Michael Tucker.
Not Gary Oldman, by the way.
Oh.
Who I've gotten confused way more times than I'd like to admit.
Really? Okay.
Well, it's just like a couple letters off.
Okay, cool. Nice. All right, Matt, that's a winner, right? We'll put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Nice job. 913-381-0810. Let's take a quick timeout. We'll go ahead, Dylan. Go ahead.
I was going to do the correction. He would have been right on Phelps.
So Phelps did win 4 in a row?
Yeah, he went 04, 08, 12, and 16.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
No bleep. Well, I'm glad that he didn't only guess Michael Phelps, because then I would have hung up on him and then made fun of him for being a dumbass. I thought it was 3 straight for Michael Phelps. But, I guess winning 28 medals, maybe it takes a span of 4 Olympic
And you
Games.
said a medal, not just gold?
Yeah, just any medal.
He did that and did gold. Like, won gold in 4 straight.
Whatever, Dylan.
You're bad at coming up with
I
questions.
just looked it up on the
Jason.
internet. I'm not taking
You know what,
credit
Dylan? Eat my shorts. All right, 913-381-0810 is the phone number. 913-381-0810. The women's individual all-around in gymnastics is going on right now. The goat on the floor routine as we speak right now.
There's a goat on the floor? Jason.
Yeah, there is a goat on the floor. It's a goat that goes by the name of Simone. That goat.
Well, remember, she's lazy and doesn't work hard, according to some people. So
she has apologized multiple times. Michaela's come up and apologized multiple times, and
toothpaste in the tube.
Exactly. You're not wrong about that. You're not wrong about that. She's also tried to sort of like spin it like, well, no, I was talking about like overall, like even the places that I go and still train and coach, like it's just not the same, even though she specifically said these girls on the team don't work hard. You know, they're not as hard workers.
Are you sorry you said it, or are you sorry you got caught?
I think both.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's sorry she said it live on a stream, while also then sorry that she felt that way to say it at the time, and now given more thought to that, saying, you know what? If you're part of the U.S. women's gymnastics team competing in the Olympics, you might be a lot of things. Lazy ain't one of them. You might have a number of characteristics in your personality. Hardworking is one of them. If you made the Olympics for the women's gymnastics U.S. team, that's for damn sure. That is undisputed. All right, that is Lorenzo Ball's dad. Undisputed, never lost. That is absolutely true.
It's Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, Lonzo, LaMelo. Was the dad Lorenzo? I can't remember. What was the dad's name?
Mr. Ball.
Yeah. At the time, it was I knew him more than the other ones, more than his sons, man. All right, 913-381-0810 is the phone number. Quite the competition going on there in Paris with the individual all-around competition in the women's gymnastics. It's been a fun one to watch, and that'll do it. All right, thank you, Dylan. Appreciate it, everybody. Seren's up. He's coming up a half hour early. We appreciate him. He's doing yeoman's work. Now, let's go back to the phone lines. We're playing sports or leisure. 913-381-0810. $25 to Johnny's Tavern on the line. Let's reset the categories real quick. On the sports side, Royals trades, Chiefs training camp, Darlings, and Olympics. What about on the leisure side real quick, Sterling?
One-hit wonders, riddles, and catchphrases.
All right. Riddles, catchphrases, one-hit wonders. Also want to it turns out that wasn't a very good question at all, but I'm glad that we had a winner on that. That not only was it 4 straight games that Michael Phelps, was a part of the answer, but the question also was 4 straight gold medals, 4 straight Olympic Games and winning gold. It's Al Order, Carl Lewis, and Michael Phelps. That was the answer. But we already had the answer to that. All right, let's go to Christopher next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Christopher, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with, sir?
Well, let's see. Let's go with some leisure.
Ooh, let's go, Christopher.
It seems pretty popular today. Let's see if I can keep it going. Let's do the catchphrases.
All right. How old are you, Christopher?
I am a strapping young man of the age of 46.
Okay.
Look at you. You're just entering your prime.
That's right, boss.
Is that your final answer? I can't do the voice.
Is that your final answer?
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's actually the catchphrase.
That's the catchphrase. Is that your final?
That's the catchphase.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that your final answer?
A quick aside. I used to love watching Regis Philbin and Kathy Lee.
Who?
Regis was really a very, very funny on that show. When he was first on there, really.
They had some. You know what? They had the original sort of patter. Like, you know what? Let's just bounce stuff back and forth before we actually get into the show. That's how we're going to start the show, and we don't really have a script to it. we're
vibing,
just gonna,
if you will. It's
yeah,
called
just
vibing.
a little patter back and forth, little vibing, little patter back and forth, and we're just going to unscripted do this, and then we're going to get into the show. And it always seemed to be entertaining and funny. You're right about it.
Regis was great. He was a diehard Notre Dame fan and actually a big sports fan as well. So occasionally he would throw some sports stuff in and read the newspaper and talk about the New York stuff. But anyway, Regis Philbin.
There you go. That is
Nice.
that is correct. All right, on to the sports side. Royals trades, Chiefs training camp darlings, and Olympics.
Let's do some Royals trades.
All right, Royals trades for you. You know what? You're around my age, so let's go with this one. Who are the 3 players the Royals got back in the Carlos Beltran trade?
John Buck.
Jean Buck.
Mark Teahen.
Uh-huh.
I feel like 2 out of 3 is pretty darn good there.
Oh, man.
It's a passing grade, Jason.
Well, if I said 2 out of 3, then that would be awesome.
Yeah. I don't need any sympathy. Help.
You darn right you don't.
Oh man, I'm losing it though. Maybe a hint, if you wouldn't mind. If you got one that isn't too obvious.
Let's see. First and last name are both 4 letters. He was a pitcher. And Tony Pena would only pronounce the first 2 letters of each name when he said his name. I don't know another hint to give. That's why I had 3, because Tien and Buck were the headliners, but this guy also was a part of it. It's part of, hey, needed the catcher, you needed a third baseman, and needed a pitcher. And this guy was the pitcher.
Pitcher.
Was a pitcher.
Mike Wood.
My Wood. Oh, my Wood. My Wood, big. My Wood, big. Yimmy Yabble was a fun one.
Yeah.
Jean Buck. Jean Buck, very well. That's right.
I like John Buck.
Yeah, John Buck was good. He was very good.
Good for Kansas City. What are you talking about?
You know what? I liked when Tony Pena said we need to focus. That's what I liked. I'm not going to say it how Tony Pena said focus, but I liked when he said we need to focus. We are going to put you on hold, Christopher, and get your information. Congratulations. Well done. $25. Johnny's Tavern heading your way. Well done.
I am a winner.
Yeah,
he is a winner.
Yeah, he is. My woo, you biggie. All right, let's go to, you know what I mean when Tony Pena said focus?
Yeah, yes,
you know, how he said focus? You know what I mean? I'm not going to say it, but you know what I'm talking about.
The FCC's not going to enjoy that.
The FCC don't bother me. Won't let me be me. Let me be. Yeah. Let's go to, it does, actually. I'm very scared of it. On behalf of Drake and Chad and everybody else that works here. Let's go to Greg next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Greg, sports or leisure? What side do you want to start with?
Let's start with leisure.
All right, we got one-hit wonders, riddles, and catchphrases.
Let's go with catchphrase.
All right, catchphrases. All right. You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Well, I mean, what do you not like Greg? Like, that seemed to be very aggressive towards Greg.
Who was the character, though? Or what was the character's name?
The character's name?
Yes.
Gosh, I should know this.
Was he not clean?
I feel like I should still allow it.
What's that, Dylan? Sorry.
I mean, I was going to say he's not shaved either, but didn't want to end up in cuts. Mark it.
What's he, Brazilian?
There you go.
Oh, wait, that's the exact opposite. Sorry. Is he French?
You know,
what's he, French?
I feel like I can count it.
Is he French?
He got it. You know what? I'll give it to you. I'm a nice man. I'll give it to you. Clint
Okay.
Eastwood. It's Harry Callahan. Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry.
Yeah, of course.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll allow it though. You good enough.
It'd be the exact opposite of a clean Todd Lebo. Because he's done here. That was mean. Greg, on to the sports side, sir. We've got Royals trades, Chiefs training camp darlings, and the Olympics.
Let's go with training camp.
Training camp darlings for you. You know what? Let's go with one of the originals. An undrafted free agent running back out of an MIAA school. He won the Harlan Hill Trophy, went on to win the hearts of Chiefs fans, but it wasn't to be as he spent 5 weeks on the practice squad before moving to the Canadian Football League.
Pacheco?
No, the training camp. We'll give him one more shot because training camp darling just simply guys that don't end up making the squad.
Oh.
He spent 5 weeks on the practice squad, then he moved to the Canadian Football League. Played at an MIAA school here in the Midwest and won the Harlan Hill Trophy, which is Division II.
What year was this?
This was early. This was one of the original training camp stars.
Okay,
it's one of the OGs, one of the OG stars.
One of the OGs.
Mm-hmm. When people start rattling off the training camp darlings, he's one of the guys that's early on. This was late 90s.
Brian Shea, is it?
It is Brian Shea. That's right. Late 90s, Brian Shea. That is correct. Well done.
Emporia State?
Emporia State's Brian Shea.
Yeah.
You're damn right. Harlan
I
Hill.
went there at the same time as him.
There you go. Well done. See? You'd have been so mad if you hung up and the answer was Brian Shea and you're like, I freaking went to school with Brian Shea. But see?
I watched him beat Ricky Waters' record, yeah.
There you go.
Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams, yeah. That's right. And win the Harlan Hill. Well done, sir. Greg, we'll put you on hold. That's a sports and a leisure. And $25 to Johnny's Tavern. Well done, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. 913-381-0810.
I feel like I'm so nice that everyone who wins should take me to Johnny's Tavern with them for
Is
a
that right?
beer. I feel like that'd be a good.
I mean, look.
I'm not saying how to spend your gift card.
Brian Shea was a stud, but, I mean, he was no Xavier Oman. Or let's be honest, he was no Keegan Coleman. All right, let's really call a spade a spade. Brian Shea was awesome at Emporia State, but he was no Keegan Coleman at Central Missouri. That's all I'm saying.
No Cody Schrader.
All I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. All right? An inch or two taller.
You would have been a baller.
That dude's a leaguein'. That dude's in the league. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you look at the size of somebody and you dismiss them. And then they go to Central Missouri and they break all these records and they finalist multiple years for the Harlan Hill and the best running back in America. But whatever. That's besides the point. Let's go to Sean next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Sean, sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Let's do leisure and let's do riddles.
Yes. Thank you, Sean.
Or thank you.
Awesome.
So are you going to do it or are you just going to say thank you?
I'm seeing which one I'm going to use.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay.
It starts with an E. It ends with an E. And it contains just one letter.
Oh, yeah, this is a continuation from a couple of weeks ago. I like it. I like it. A holdover.
One letter? Oh, my God.
It starts with
could
an
be
E.
that. Right, yeah.
It ends with an E. And it contains...
But the contains part, Dylan.
Just one letter.
The contains. I guess no. What is that? It necessarily isn't what contains it. It is being contained by something.
Yeah.
But. Yeah.
Do you know this one, Jason?
I do. I do know this one.
Letter.
No, I know this one.
A letter.
Yeah.
Yep.
A letter. So you.
Yep.
Oh.
Starts with.
Letter. Oh, you write a letter. Envelope.
Yes, let's go. Nice, Sean. See how satisfying that is when you come to the conclusion on a riddle?
Nice job, sir.
Good
nice
job.
Well done. On to no. That's is that a no? That's not a winner.
No, I got
It's a winner in my book, pal.
Right. Well, yeah. You know what? That's great. It's
Bobby Scipio,
nice
and
job.
that's a winner. There we
Yes.
go.
I haven't solved the riddle as to how to play the game. So you've knocked out leisure onto the sports side. Royals trades, Chiefs training camp darlings, and Olympics. What do you think, Sean?
And these are all rough for me. So let's just throw an Olympics. Let's do an Olympics one.
All right. Because you asked for that and you sort of let us know it might be rough for you. Who holds the record for the most gold medals in one Olympic Games? The most gold medals won in one Olympic Games.
You're talking about a person, not a country, right?
Person. Yep. That's a good distinction.
What's the country of origin?
USA.
Can you use it in a sentence?
This person was an athlete for USA and won 8 gold medals in one Olympic Games. All 8 of his events that he competed in, he won the gold. He was 8 for 8.
I mean, the only person that I could really think of that even did that or even had a chance to do that was I think it's like, it has to be like Michael Phelps, I think.
It is Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps, 8 golds in one Olympic game. All 8 of his events he won gold in.
That's wild, dude.
That was the answer to an earlier question.
Yeah, that's why I spread them out from a few questions before the first and then that one. But
just say Michael Phelps. If you ever a question,
not anymore. I'll tell you this: if anybody wants an Olympic question, don't say Michael Phelps anymore. So, Sean will put you on hold, get your information. Congratulations, sir. Well done.
Thank you, fellas.
You got it. 913-381-810 is the phone line. From Sean to Shane. Shane next up on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Shane, sports or leisure, what side would you like to start with? Shane?
Shane, is your
Sorry, I am here.
No, you're good.
There we go.
You're good. Oh, all good, man. All good. Sports or leisure, what side do you want to start with?
Sports and kind of like the last guy, but kind of like I'm decent in all three, but not confident. Let's just pick. I'm going to go with Royals trades. I'm pretty jacked up about the Royals right now.
All right, great. Royals trades for you. Let's go with this player was traded by the Royals in one of the more controversial trades in franchise history. The package of players brought back Kevin McReynolds, Greg Jeffries, and no, I'm not going to pinch or run Miller for Brett in the 9th. Keith Miller, Greg Jeffries, Kevin McReynolds for this man. One of the more controversial trades. One of the worst trades in Royals history.
That's bad. That's bad.
We traded him away. I should know this because this was in the late 80s or early 90s. Yeah,
Early 90s, yep.
Early 90s.
Yep.
I was alive for this. So
I just want to know, like, if you considered Brett for Miller with bases loaded in the 7th. Yeah. I mean, did you consider that or not? That's all.
It's a good one.
He wouldn't have considered it if this player wasn't traded. Because he wouldn't have had Keith Miller on the team.
I'm assuming it's a guy who went to the Mets, correct?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it, I think with those hints that helped me out. And,
let's just say
he went to the Mets. I feel like is a good one. He went to the Mets.
He and Salvi are connected in Royals history forever.
Ah, nice.
Thanks.
Really? Well, that threw me off, but I'll just go ahead and guess. Was it Brian McRae?
It was not BMAC. It was not
The
Brian McRae.
first letter of the first name, though.
That's true. Yes,
the
was not.
same.
Shane, thank you for playing, man. Appreciate you, brother. 913-381-810. That question is out there. We'll take a timeout, come back, and wrap up the show. One more segment. We'll see if we have time, but one more segment of Sports or Leisure presented by Johnny's Tavern. More Zone next.